everyone! Apologies, the internet on our production team crashed, but we are so back. Aman, are you ready to jump straight back into some chess?
I am. I feel like the last thing we talked about was maxing out chess. We maxed out the production of the show, and we're back. That's what matters. We have a game in front of us, and I can't help but notice, first things first, did someone miscount? Because there is a full extra queen for Linzor here.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you have Parsec, if we can go back and see how this queen blunder happened, but if not, you know what? Queens don't really matter, but you could give us a quick brief. Let's see.
Yep, so far so good. Everyone seems to be making great moves here at the start, and as I say it, there is the culprit. Queen to e2 was played in the game, and honestly, just not realizing that knight could take, probably focusing on the knight attacking so many other things. And there you go. That's the main difference.
I really feel for Hungrybox. Hungrybox, he is I wouldn't say an underdog, but yesterday I think you got to witness his first win, and I really do want to see a Hungrybox come back. Chess is a difficult game. We've seen it time and time again. But no queen, no problem. He's continuing to fight on, and now Amon's nicely catching us up.
Yeah, we are here live with the current position. I'll even just say on the last move, there was a moment to play knight e7 check and actually win the queen back as we were talking about it. So it just reminds us all that 200, 300 elo chess, Andrea, it is never over.
That's true. We've seen many queens hanging in our last matchup of Michaela versus my brain is Lydia. Thank you. Versus Lydia. So, maybe we need to have a good queen lesson for all of our PogChampers. Just simple queen forks and how to take queens.
Honestly, yeah, the basics would be good. Here, there's another fork, but I think what I would be desperately trying to do is getting that knight where my rook is. Honestly, the most annoying thing is I can't put it there.
Yeah, and I see Hungrybox is getting into a lot of time pressure. He's almost down 2 minutes on the clock. But you know what? Maybe he's eyeing the g7 square. He's doing this knight maneuver. Of course, only possible if the knight from c5. But he's still trying to attack. Unfortunately, rook a7, he's pinned, and then it's kind of GG from there. But let's see how Linzor is going to react.
Yeah, well, you've earned the queen back if you find the right move here. Rook to e8, check, supported by the knight, will win the queen. And you know what? You got to start somewhere, and Hungrybox finds it.
Okay, very nice. I also didn't see that. So, Aman, you and both Hungrybox are seeing now more queen tactics than I am.
I think that break allowed me to just reset, refocus, and we're coming back strong here. This is just the start, right? You're down a full queen. You got to win it back, but he lost a rook for it. Now he has to find a way to win a rook.
Maybe we can tune in to see our dual cam to see our two participants.
Oh. No! No! No!
I'm curious how Linzor can play chess on this board.
Something good off. Well, look, he's picking up material.
Oh, right.
10 seconds for Hungrybox. He's just stressed, trying to maintain.
He's jumping around, feeling the...
There is checkmate here. I wonder if either player is going to see it. Checkmate in one move if White's rook goes all the way down the board. So this is a crucial moment in this game.
And I think Hungrybox sees it. You can see him getting really tense. He's breathing heavily. His knees weak, arms are sweaty. He's got vomit on his shirt already.
He's almost trying to hold a poker face.
Oh my gosh.
This is so stressful. I don't know what to do.
This will be the biggest comeback. And she sees it. She blocks the mate.
That's amazing. Move. I wonder if she saw it or just wanted to block. We shall see. Oh no.
And a
make sure you move the king. No, not that one.
How stupid am I? How stupid am I?
It is the question that every PogChamper asks themselves, but you're not stupid. It just takes practice. Now, hopefully, Hungrybox
I
doesn't
know
give
he's
back
good at
the favor.
checkmates. He's good.
Is this the comeback, Andrea? Because we tuned in with a full queen extra for Linzor, and it's been completely turned around, and yet still Hungrybox is not winning. That's how much work he has to do to get back in this game.
Yep, and it looks like he's trying to activate his king. Maybe he'll pull a Michaela and try to checkmate his opponent down material using his king to defend. He's got 6 seconds, okay? He's making quick
Yep.
moves, he's learned.
Getting really, really low on time. The rook should probably move again here, even though it's defended. You just don't want to have the rook too close to the king. I don't mind this move.
What is your prediction, Amon? What do you think's going to happen in this match?
I mean, how can you not root for the comeback? I mean, just the underdog. Being down a full queen is such a significant amount of material. And I feel like ever since we've tuned in, Hungrybox has been really thoughtful about the moves in order to win it back.
Yep, very true. Now Linzor has a pass pawn though, which is very dangerous, but
Mhm.
Hungrybox is trying to find a mating net for the king.
Yeah, it's really difficult to find a way to make it work. We need to see a knight check here because if you move the attacked rook, and that's what's
That is
been
the
done,
only
then you
move.
lose the knight.
He is under time pressure. Is Linzor going to take this free piece? And she does. Okay. Just a king and a
So
rook
strong.
against the world now.
Oh no, in the back you can see the camera.
Aw, the pure rage.
That feels bad.
Good
I'm
match.
so upset for the other.
Well, Hungrybox, at least you're continuing to fight. We have been seeing improvement. I'm gonna reach out to Hungrybox and help him with his puzzles because it is really difficult to keep fighting when you're down, but he's not giving up. And Hungrybox, we are rooting for you. You were so close.
Yeah, it looked like he may have maybe down a keyboard or a mouse, so hopefully he's still set to play the next game. There is going to be another one. Linzor takes the win with a great checkmating pattern there at the end, and there is another game that needs to be played, and now Hungrybox must win.
Yep, but chat, that's not over yet. We have one more game. Hungrybox can redeem himself, like Amon just said. Let's see what he's going for the opening. I know he's been having a little bit of struggles. I don't know if he was playing the cow, but let's see if his opening for this match has improved.
Yeah, I'm now looking at this opening. Is it kind of familiar, Andrea? Because if C3 gets played, I feel like we've seen this exact start in the last match.
Yeah, this setup was working for Lydia. Seems like Linzor's doing it. It is also a great refutation against the cow. And for a beginner player, it helps you gain control of the center right away, which is very helpful for Linzor as she's developing her pieces.
Yep, completely agree. Last game really showed that even though Linzor played the much better game initially, took advantage of the blunder, it's a long game. So you have to play a complete match. You can't just win a piece early and think that you're guaranteed to win the game.
Hungrybox developing his bishop. I wonder if a move like d5, do you think that would be a good plan for Black Amon for gaining center control?
Yeah, I think if I'm really being honest here, I'm looking at that bishop and I don't know where it's going to go. Unfortunately, d5, if the white pawn pushes, it would still be stuck. But the reason that I like d5, Andre, is I think white might be tempted to capture it, and then you could free that bishop up.
Yeah, I think just one piece of advice for Hungrybox, also if he is watching the VODs, is from watching his games, I've noticed that he never has a pawn in the center. So it could be helpful just finding a basic opening where you get to push d5 or e5 beginning, or trying to force it in one of these positions because it is very difficult to fight. And he does push d5.
Nice. Yeah, this is perfect. I am waiting to see the reaction because I do think most people react to the ability to capture something by capturing something.
Yep. And Linzor reacts quickly. She attacks, and now Hungrybox actually has an opportunity to win a pawn, I believe, if he trades off that knight.
Yeah, I think at this point the trade makes the most sense. Maybe he'll bring the bishop back to the middle, but no, correct move made again. And this is what I'm saying about Hungrybox at 200 elo. I think he's quite dangerous. It really just depends on his position. Like he might drop an entire queen, like big blunders that can ruin the game. But if he's not doing that, I think he plays pretty well.
The question is, will the tilt get to him? I know when I have a devastating loss, it's very hard to regain my mental. We saw a very heartbreaking moment. It looks like he was playing some Smash, but he was just playing chess. But so far, he is regaining his momentum.
Yeah, and this move, I mean, not capturing the pawn back and just moving forward really admits, okay, you have a full extra pawn. Like, I'm not even taking it back anymore. So definitely advantage Hungrybox early. And I'd love to, last time I feel like we dropped in on Hungrybox. We jumped in, shall we say, at an unfortunate moment for him. So maybe we could take a listen now when he's working through his thoughts in this game that he has to win.
Let's do it. And I don't
So
blame
locked
him.
in.
He
Yeah.
he's a very competitive gamer. He doesn't like to lose, and I get it. It's hard in a competition like this where everyone's got a couple hundred elo, and he's taking it very seriously.
Yeah, so Hungrybox is the lowest rated player in the event, which causes him to use more time than any other player because let's be honest, that just makes sense. You need more time to process the position. And when you're playing higher rated players, you just assume that they're up to something. You got to figure it out. You're always like second guessing. So that's why I think Hungrybox is always really low on time compared to his opponent. But Linzor is also now thinking you know, in this position, I'm wondering, are we going to see kingside castle? That's what I'm curious about because castling is something that I think more people in this event need to prioritize.
Yeah, and I like what Hungrybox is doing. The computer might not, but he's just trying to find a square for his bishop. And like Amon said, we need to castle. He can castle queenside or kingside. But really, what he can do to improve this time management is just make small, basic developing moves like this, and he doesn't need
Yep.
to overthink them.
And bishop captures the pawn in the center. Is that going to be enough of a reason to finally push it forward? I wonder if we're going to see that, or the black queen could move again to defend it, but maybe we just leave it there and say, okay, take the pawn back. I just want to focus on development, and then finally the king could castle in either direction.
Yep, his pawn is under attack. E3 isn't as strong as anymore because the knight is now defending the weak pawn on c3, but at least he would try to save that pawn. But even putting that bishop on the diagonal, like Amon said, is a good developing move, will defend the diagonal.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind just ignoring the pawn and developing, but hey, now he goes for that move. It's kind of he took a prompt before he was confident enough to play it, but that doesn't matter. I think it's a great move.
Yeah, Eval is jumping chat because he had a nice in-between. Sorry, Linzor had an in-between move. She could have taken the knight on d5 to take the pawn on e3, which is still a threat.
Yep, it would. Yeah, it makes more sense now to capture that knight, and still
Oh, wait,
wondering.
yeah. It wouldn't have worked. Sorry, Amon.
That's okay. I think that if that had happened, Andrea, honestly, it probably would have worked. You were right. I think
Right.
Black would have taken it back.
The more PogChamps I watch, the more on their level I get. So I'm just trying to, as a commentator, be in their minds. It's not that I'm just missing tactics, chat. Come on.
I know that, but it's nice of you to explain to everyone
Yeah,
else. Yeah.
of course. All right, and we see that bishop development. Bishop a6, exclamation mark. The best square for the bishop right now. Beautiful. If he'd done this a couple moves ago, wouldn't have been as strong. But now that the f1 bishop is no longer there, it was a great move. Let's
Yeah,
go.
this pawn move, it can really just be taken. So I wonder if he's going to see that because just put the bishop there. So you're kind of looking at that diagonal. You see something move in the way. First thought is, can I take that? Is it safe? So I really like the possibility of bishop capturing the pawn here. And I wonder how Linzor feels about this position. We haven't dropped in the stream, but the position is kind of looking tough. So I'd love to hear her thoughts here.
Maybe we can go to a dual screen layout too, if it's possible. But so far,
I just got
Hungrybox.
word from production up top. Yeah, we're not going there because she's explaining her thoughts, I think, way too well. So nope, not for now, Andrea. We have to stick with you and me in the
You're
commentary
stuck
booth.
with us, chat. That's okay. We
Yep.
can just read their minds. I think Hungrybox right now is thinking, Num num num. I'm really hungry, but I'm also making a comeback.
Okay,
And
lock in a prediction. What move will he play next?
Okay, I'm putting myself in his head. He's honestly got a great position. So the hardest thing here is just making a really simple move and not overthinking. Like even moving his rook one square is fine. His bishops
Mhm.
is really well placed. A little worried that c6 knight and he trades off. I loved his bishop, but it makes sense because in a position like that where your best move is just to develop, it's easy to take just a piece because it's the most forcing looking move.
Yeah, capturing is always the first thing that you're kind of taught to look for in chess. Like, might as well look if anything can be taken. The knight goes to the side of the board. I've always cautioned you'd really want to have your pieces more towards the center. So I would say that knight was better where it was, and there was a pawn that could have been captured. Now, that being said, the knight a5 move is still pretty good. Linzor is probably excited about finally taking this pawn, but I wonder if that's going to be the move.
And also, chat, the only reason I said I'm hungry is I was trying to make a metaphor for taking pieces, not for anything else, and his name was Hungrybox. But yes, back to the chess. Knight a5. How do you feel about this knight on the rim, Amani? You've seen it too many
Look,
times.
yeah, I really don't like it. I'm also wondering if Linzor would maybe consider the move pawn to c4 with a really long range pin, right? That could be a really interesting idea, but I think the simplest is to finally move that bishop that hasn't moved yet. So either bishop b2 or bishop captures e3. Those are the two moves that I think Linzor should be focusing on.
Yeah, and this is why I mentioned moving one of those rooks, because even if we don't have a great square for there, leaving the rook on a8 is very dangerous. We have no bishops anymore, and here it comes. Okay, the eval bar drops, but I like this move. I'm assuming I'm missing a tactic.
Yeah, this is, and we finally get the two cam up. That's awesome. This is a very combative move, and it looks like Linzor really thought this one through.
Oh, I wonder if the refutation has to be knight c3. Maybe not.
So, first of all, I think moving this
What
knight
a
in the
way
center
he
is going to make the
do.
most
Okay,
sense
so what I've done is
Yep.
me explaining it feels so stupid because I
because
probably
there's
fucked
no
up. Like,
way
I'll
that
take
he
it
notices the
if he doesn't
bishop
take
hitting that
me.
rook so
But if
far
he
away.
takes me here, I take him with the queen. I do
Second,
that.
and the queen is
God.
gone. I don't even. Can you replay this, please, Aman?
Yeah, that
How
was
did this
a
happen?
it was a crazy. First of all, after the knight went to b3, I have to say Hungrybox was doing the right stuff. At the level of this game, I think coming up with a plan yourself to attack the rook in the corner is really great. It was at the cost of this knight, but he's probably thinking, oh, I lose a knight, but I get a rook. That's 5 versus 3, so that's great. White should have taken, and then maybe taken this knight as well. Of course, the players can also take the rook in the corner, but I feel like that's just not happening. It's really tough to see all the way on the other side of the board. But instead, Linzor calculated all that out and then said, oh, I'll just make a random move, did this, and then took the knight. And it was the worst timing. And Hungrybox saw it immediately. As we get back to the live game, this is the position. And Hungrybox is just taking everything in sight.
He's feeling. He's feeling the energy. I'm excited to see a tiebreaker from Hungrybox, but this shows how hard it is in this level of chess to try to calculate 3 moves ahead. Both players are doing a great job spotting attacks and threats, and really what makes a difference in the skill level is pushing one more move, which even I get lazy sometimes and don't want to do.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. This move is really clever by Linzor, I have to say. It does intend bishop to e6, which will win the queen and maybe put Linzor right back in the game. How crazy would it be if we saw 2 games with 2 comebacks from down a queen?
And Hungrybox just says, no, not this time. He defends the fork and he sees the threat, but a very good try on Linzor.
Yep, this is another great move from Hungrybox. I love that he moved a piece that hasn't moved yet. So he's bringing a piece into the center, guarding that. All things look good. He's still got 2 minutes. The best play next would probably be to take that knight in the corner and bring it back into the action, back into the center of the board.
Yeah, he's finally moving that rook from the a8 square. I was been afraid for so long that we're going to lose it to a bishop. Linzor doesn't have that many pieces she can really move. Her bishop doesn't have any great squares, so she's just trying to hold down the fort with what she has.
Yep, knight b3 looks like the best move to me. It hits this bishop, so you could capture it next. And there's not many things that I would be interested in doing other than capturing and trading, because I have an extra queen, so any type of trade will be good for me.
I have to say it is nice to see the difference and the improvement for Hungrybox. He has not made blunders in this game. The position earlier was quite tricky. He's very focused. Yesterday he was listening to upbeat music. Today it's just intense classical. You can feel that the vibes are a lot more tense, but this
Yep.
improvement has paid off for him.
And he was in a really tough group. When I was commentating that, I mean, he was up against people way higher rated than him. And now I feel like the last couple games, he's really felt like he has a chance. He can play up to a higher level, but you know how it is. Sometimes you just lose confidence in yourself, especially when you're newer to the game. So I feel like he feels a little bit more empowered, playing people more around his rating, and he's been getting some wins as a result.
Exactly. And even though he is in the consolation, there is still prize money on the line. So there's
Good point.
still a prize. He could still be aiming for first in consolation.
Good point. Let's see if he can do it. This would be a massive win because the only way we go to tie breaks is if we get a win from Hungrybox with the black pieces here. Don't let that time get too low. Hungrybox has to find a way to not lose that queen and win this game.
I like that Linzor is constantly trying to attack. She's bringing her pieces closer together. Her light
Yep.
squared bishop, her dark squared bishop now even has potentially a home on e3. So when you're really down in material, keeping your pieces close together is not a bad idea. That way that they can all defend each other and no attacks from afar.
Agreed. 1 minute and taking down here the queen. And look, this is just a great move into the center of the board. Andrea, that's exactly what the players should be focusing on. So I'd love to see that move from Hungrybox.
Yep, and to the person in chat who asked, first place for consolation is $10,000. So, and second place is 8, third is 6, and fifth is 4th. So there is a lot of prize money on this. The
There you
consolation is
go.
not any less important than the championship bracket, which you guys will also see later today, but a juicy first place prize for our consolation.
Yeah, because remember, they're still working hard here. It's not like they're just in the consolation. So we're focusing on the championship bracket. I think the games are super entertaining. We saw like a 70 move game, 80 move game between the two girls in the last matchup. So it's been a lot of fun here, and we're still going. We could still have more chess if Hungrybox wins.
He's finally made that knight move you've been hoping for him on, knight c2, attacking the rook, hopefully bringing this knight towards the center of the board.
Yep. Ooh, the
Okay,
queen
I
comes down.
actually
Very aggressive.
very nice move as well. You can attack this queen and it defends the knight. A great
So
move.
one
Hungrybox is getting sharper and sharper.
I agree. One thing that I'm noticing though is he's basically only moving the queen and then now the knight, and he has a lot of other pieces. So a lot of people forget if you're ahead a queen and you just move your queen, it's not going to feel like you're that far ahead. When you start to realize your advantage is when you actually move other pieces. But look at that, taking advantage of a big mistake. And who am I to speak? It looks like Hungrybox only needs a queen.
Hungrybox is locked in. Since he got this advantage, he has not missed a single piece and he has not missed a single capture. Rookie 1 looked logical. He was
Beautiful.
trying to attack the queen and defend the bishop. Just slight mishap that the knight was also attacking.
All he needs is a queen, and with two bishops able to be captured, maybe he wants another queen. He's going for another one. Let's jump into the POVs here because I think Hungrybox is going to be feeling himself after that one. Got to be confident at this point. Hey, don't do that one.
I got 1 pawn.
What are we? No. I have to say,
Oh,
Something that's
he
so
blundered
easy,
his queen. Yes.
so easy to
Yes!
forget is when a piece leaves a
Yes!
square, it's
Yes!
always defending that square.
It's the sniper. Hungrybox taking a deep breath, but it's okay. Lucky
Oh,
for
my
Hungrybox,
hands
he's got
are
more
so
where that
cold.
came from. He doesn't need the queen to win. He's still got 2 rooks. It's still winning position, although we did just give a queen.
Now he can't go down there. Can you believe this, guys? He has 31 seconds. Oh, I'm gonna... maybe I'll win this. I have to play more games.
In both games, we saw someone win a queen and then blunder
Should
it
I
back.
just go there? And then he
Queens
takes
are
me, but then I
obsolete.
take him?
At this point, we don't need him. Pushing one of those pawns and trying to promote, but he is in time pressure and he cannot figure out how to checkmate this king.
In general, white should move that pawn so that stalemate's a possibility, because even if the king was in a stalemate position now, it wouldn't count because the pawn could still make a move.
Okay, he's connecting his rooks, but he still hasn't thought about the pawns. He has 10 seconds. Oh, and he's getting... Don't take the pawn. You can see him breathing heavily.
Here we go.
All right,
Does
he just
he
has
know
to
this
roll
checkmate?
He knows. He knows.
Surely. It's happening.
All right, he's looking confident. Okay. Look at that.
He's got them lined up here. He's nodding.
He knows. Okay.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Hungrybox is coming back.
Amazing.
Yes! One more! One more!
Let's
Come
go.
on!
Into tiebreakers we go. Congratulations, Hungrybox. What a comeback. From our
Holy
lowest
fucking
rated player
shit, dude.
who's been fighting and improving. We are happy to see it.
Let's go. What a pop-off. It's 1-1 in the match, which means we need to remind everyone the format for the tiebreak. The player with the higher accuracy over the first 2 games will get the white pieces. And they're just going to play a game that has 3 minutes with 5 seconds extra per move instead of 10. So much shorter time control. And they just play non-stop until there is a winner.
And Hungrybox actually had the higher accuracy, meaning he would get the white pieces. Congratulations to Hungrybox, and also well done on the comeback. It's been good to see the improvement.
Yeah, I actually think that he earned the white pieces based on that game we just saw. That was, in general, a very accurate game. I was really impressed by it. Even with that blunder of the queen, he still recollected himself and I think played a great game and a great checkmate pattern at the end.
Yep, but Linzor is still a very sharp opponent. She has been holding down the fort. I think she got a little bit confused there with that mislip of the pawn where she blundered the queen, but she is still a very challenging opponent.
And let's see, because we've actually now got Hungrybox with the white pieces, and it, something that I realized is that if you have the higher accuracy, you get the white pieces. But maybe it should be if you have the higher accuracy, you get to choose what color you want. Because maybe Hungrybox doesn't want to be white. Remember, he lost his game with white and he won with black.
That's true. I don't know if he was playing the same opening because we tuned in a little bit late, but I do like that as a change. It seems like he has a quick, solid setup from the beginning, so maybe he's made a difference here.
Oh, the bishop. Remember, it just went somewhere that was attacking. The bishops are looking at each other. Oh, no.
All right, we don't take free pieces.
Again, no, we don't see anything there.
The best thing to do as a new player is just sit on your hands in between the rounds and say, is anything under attack? That is the same piece of advice that I gave to my 6-year-old students when I would teach chess club in middle school, and it is the same advice I give to PogChamps because there are so many free pieces in these games.
Agreed, totally. And the chat's pointing out the crab. That's right. I forgot that Hungrybox was starting his games with white by playing this opening all the time on the commentary. I was like, oh man, Hungrybox is a pretty good player, but he's ruining his positions and getting scholars mated by playing this nonsense. So I like to see him taking this much more seriously today.
Yep, Dina was taking her own innovation on the crab and was saying it was a very good comeback to the cow had he only pushed a pawn in the center. But I like that he's just going for safer openings now.
Yep, and both sides castled, but on the opposite side, which means you might see a lot of aggression from both sides. That's usually what you do when the kings are castled opposite. Hey, it's time to attack.
Chat, I see you guys spamming the crab. Chat wants the crab energy. We might not have a crab on the board, but everyone spam the crab just because you can, and it's a new emote, and we like it.
That's as good a reason as any. I don't think the chat needs anything more than that.
Someone said, why does Hungrybox have so many fans? Well, yesterday, when I was tuning in, he wasn't able to win a single game because all of his opponents were like hundreds of points above. And like Amon said, he is the lowest rated. So I think purely because he is our underdog in the competition. Linzor is also a very strong player as we see, but it is very hard to come back after getting defeated. But Hungrybox didn't let that get into his mental.
Yeah, it's always fun to cheer for the underdog. But honestly, both players here are pretty much 200-300 elo. So I think no matter what, you're rooting for these players to play well, because I mean, it is funny when there are blunders on the board. I can't lie, but ultimately, nothing feels better than watching new players come up with great moves on their own.
Yep. Which, speaking of bishop f4, it got a question mark, but I really like this move personally. It's attacking the weak pawn on d6, bringing out the bishop. Hopefully we can put our rook on the e. Ooh, and Linzor gets baited.
Maybe the move is so good that it baited this move. Now, the real question is, will Hungrybox see that the knight is hanging? No, that's too far away.
He can take it with the queen. Do you think he's listening to my stream?
We are.
What if my... Oh, he didn't see it.
He was not. He
didn't
listening.
See it.
Offended.
Am I just gonna go back?
He didn't spot the attack.
I'm on time.
You know what? That's great. When you make a mistake, there's no shame in just
Jesus
retreating.
Christ. Sometimes it's nice when you play against someone who doesn't see it all the time. I don't see everything either.
That's very relatable. It is nice to play against someone your level, because you're like, okay, I miss things. It's nice to know that you do as well.
I do wonder if Linzor's accuracy would increase having dark squares, because for me it's just hard to
weird.
see.
I feel like mine look...
But I
agree.
appreciate
so
the commitment to the aesthetic.
Yeah, everything is a light squared bishop on that board. Ooh, aggressive move. And in general, this is what I mean about attacking. You're always going to, if you make a threat, that's always a good thing.
Yeah, no, this is a beautiful move. Gaining space. Oh,
Uh-oh.
and we leave that bishop hanging for the second time to attack towards the king.
For like a quick
except we don't have enough attacks there.
This can't be good. A huge mistake there from Hungrybox, and you just have to think that maybe he's playing too fast or not paying attention to your opponent's last move. When your opponent makes a move, I always say, stop, have a look at it, and think, what is my opponent intending with that move? What's different from this position compared to last position? And in this case, pawns captured diagonally, so that's the first place to look. Retreating the bishop would have been good. Instead, Hungrybox does not react at all, loses a bishop, and worst part, opening a line against the king, Andrea.
Yep, it's easy when you have a plan to focus on just your side of attack. Hungrybox was getting confident from the last win, trying to eye the king, but like Amon said, this is a little scary for his own. Maybe bringing back the queen, great idea. You need your pieces to defend your king side.
Is this familiar? Is like if at first you don't succeed, try again. Knight to h5 finally played, and then now the queen comes back.
Yep. Queen f3 here could be a nice defense move and attacking. Beautiful.
Great.
He plays it quickly.
Yep, there's a lot of moves on this open line against the king that make a lot of sense right now. I do think that the queen moving here, if the queen blocks the check, that could be trouble, but I think it's more natural to move the king out of the way into the corner. So Hungrybox should be safe, which means because this was a 3-minute game, Andrea, it's going to get crazy in time pressure for both of these players very, very soon.
Yep, the pressure is now on Linzor as she is up a knight and she has the attack on the king, but will she find the right plan to attack the king? She defends her knight, a great move.
You know, one thing that Hungrybox does not do very well is he's not aware that when a piece moves away from a square, it's always covering the square it was just on. And that happens to him again. Another queen blunder, Andrea.
We've seen that square under attack too many times. Not like this, not the queen. I was not expecting us. First, we had a free knight there. We were supposed to be taking, not giving on that square. But hopefully now Hungrybox will never underestimate the h5 square.
Honestly, it's been the theme of this entire game. Even though anything can still happen, Linzor is set up great to potentially orchestrate a checkmate on this open line if all the pieces get over here.
Yep, there's a lot of lines of attack. For Hungrybox, maybe he can try to bring back his bishop, use all of his pieces to defend. Except there is a mate in one, and Linzor plays
Maybe we
the
can
checkmate
jump in
without
for a
his...
reaction here. That was amazing.
Oh, did you see that checkmate? I've never done a nicer checkmate than
I'm gonna
that.
go.
Hey, thank you, players.
Guys, I don't think this means.
Hey, thank you, players, and congratulations, Linzor. You're going to be moving on to tomorrow.
Oh my god.
We are
I'm just gonna go-
going
I'm just
to
gonna go
be
off
skipping
myself.
the interview since we're running late enough.
Thank you
So
so
you
much.
guys
Bye,
are
Good
good to
game,
leave
and
Zoom
thank you,
here.
guys.
Thank you so much for playing. Thanks for
Thank
putting
you
up with
so
all of
much.
us.
Good game, and thank you guys.
GG's.
You can
Dang.
tell that Hungrybox is a real OG gamer. You can feel the pain in his soul, but I also appreciate
Totally.
that he does take this game really seriously. Hungrybox, you had so much improvement. The opening was so much better. You had a free piece. You could have been winning from the opening, and it was just one small lack of focus, and then it all crumbled. But really, I did see a lot of improvement from yesterday.
Completely agree. Our updated bracket here in the consolation bracket has Linzor moving on, which means our semifinal matchups are made. Mongrel, who did not play today, will be back tomorrow to face off against Linzor, and Filian against Lydia Violet. So those matchups are happening tomorrow. Andrea, there's still more chess today, but it won't be from the consolation bracket.
That is true, chat. My sister and Miss Cramling, happy late birthday to Anna Cramling, will be joining right after this break. We will not be doing an interview just because we got a bit behind in schedule. But chat and Amon, it was an honor to come here with you guys, and I'm looking forward to continuing the games later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Do you think I'm smarter than you?
Yes.
Lie.
Well, you have to define intelligence because for me, like, okay, there's emotional intelligence. I think IQ and general knowledge, Alex is definitely smarter. I think I'm more creative, but I don't think most people value creativity, intelligence. I do. So again, intelligence is a very loaded question, but I do genuinely think you're smarter.
True. With some doubts.
With some doubts.
With some doubts. Would you die for your sister?
Yes.
Oh, true.
Wow.
If I had to sacrifice myself to let her live, I would do it.
Do you think she would do the same?
Yes.
I would.
She's not sure, but she thinks yes.
Do you think, as a unit, we're the best chess content creators?
Yes.
Yes, maybe, but after she thought a little bit about it, it's a lie.
That's a good read. I think when you said it as a unit, I thought you meant if I thought we're the best duo. I think we're by far the best duo in chess content because there's no other duos. But I think we're greater than chess content creators in a sense of outside of the chess world. We're better creators. They're better at chess, but we're better at general content, and I believe that.
Do you think you would be a good girlfriend?
Yes. With some doubts.
No, but she thinks she would.
Do you think you'd be a faithful girlfriend?
Yes.
Yes, she thinks so.
Do you think Hikaru is a better content creator than you and your sister?
No.
I think she would say define successful.
I think he's better chess content creator, but I think we're more talented content creators.
Do you think Levi is a better creator than you and your sister?
No. Well, in chess content, yes.
I would say that it's a lie.
I think he's a better chess content creator than us. I don't think he's a better creator. But he honestly works probably harder than us, so it's hard.
I think thinking ahead, like thinking about your next moves is obviously really important in chess and is a big thing in Fortnite. So I think that's kind of the main takeaway I'm going to have from being a pro player for so long. And I'm hoping that's going to help me a bit, but I don't know. We're going to have some tough competition, but I'm trying to do my best.
I think that Pokemon and chess actually have a lot in common. It's a lot about understanding like where your position, what your position is relative to your opponents, understanding when it's time to make risky like plays, understanding when it's time to kind of pull back and play safe, and a lot about understanding how the current board state influences the future one, being able to see a couple moves ahead and understand, yeah, like relative positioning. So I think overall it's actually quite similar, and it's interesting kind of coming back to chess after I haven't really played seriously in well over a decade, and seeing how as my skills as a Pokemon player have developed, I'm also able to understand chess in a different light.
The one similarity that I have is that I think camping is pretty good. I capitalize on mistakes instead of making the aggressive option.
So I have a pretty good memory. It's kind of like how I got into content, actually. I'm like a geography buff, so I kind of like memorizing facts, data, and like it's not completely the same because I feel like chess is more repetition and pattern recognition and just sort of staying calm and like evaluating the board in front of you. But there's definitely like certain mnemonic things to kind of remember and apply that I'm pretty good at that definitely will help if I apply it the right way to chess.
Hello, everyone. I am here with the one and only Anna Kremling. Make sure to say happy birthday in chat because it was just her birthday. Anna, are you ready to watch the Sapnap game? They've already gotten started.
I have been ready the whole day. I've literally been waiting for this. I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Alex, for the happy birthday. I'm so excited to be commentating with you this epic game. We see actually that they played the first game right before and Sapnap won. So we are right now in a really, really, really exciting part as Sambucha needs to win this game to take it to tiebreakers.
Yeah, so basically Sambucha is stuck here in the endgame, and I don't know if you've commentated with Aman yet, but he taught me this cool thing where you count the pieces. And if we're looking at the pawns, it seems like black is short a pawn, and yet he needs to be the one pushing for a win here.
Yeah, it's not a good situation, but this is PogChamps, and what I love the most about PogChamps is that a pawn is not a lot here. Anything can happen, and I definitely think that it's going to be more about piece activity than it's going to be about pawns. So I still have faith in Sambucha. Anything can happen.
Yeah, and here we see that Sapnap just played rook b7, so he's attacking the knight on b6. He's putting pressure on the b4 pawn. He seems to be the one who is being a little bit more active here when you look at this, but if you check out Sapnap's rook on c2, sorry, Sambucha's rook on c2, you see that he's completely cut off the second file from the king, and king activity is one of the most important. Oh, gosh.
Oh, he's putting the knight on the same file as the pin. Is there some rook c7? Can we try to pin that knight?
Yeah, and then if he plays knight to e3, I think the problem is that you can take the rook, knight takes, and then the pawn on d4 just starts running to try to promote on d8. I'm pretty sure that's why it's a mistake. Okay. Well, they just traded instead, but the d5 pawn is still a mistake. It's still going to be hard to deal with here.
It's going to be a tough pawn, but look now. Now after he goes up with the king, Sambucha can go for this check and start picking up those pawns. And if Sapnap isn't careful, I mean, that b4 pawn can be very fast as well.
Yeah, that's true. And now it's not going to be quite a pass pawn because he's still going to have a2. But honestly, endgames is one of those things that when you're starting chess early on, you're like, why do I even need to worry about the endgame? Are we even going to get there? So I feel like a lot of players have not spent time looking at the basics, even if they're as strong as Sapnap, who has played PogChamps and multiple of these creator chess tournaments before.
Alex, even at our level, when you and I have played chess, I feel like our endgames have always been the worst part. So I think this applies to a lot of levels.
Yes. To quote Aronian, my chess gives cancer to children. So, hey, it's hard for everyone. And I don't want to interact with chat, but somebody said, why does Alex always look grumpy? I'm not grumpy. I'm excited to be here. It's just my resting face. Anna, do you have any predictions for this match so far based on what you're seeing?
I mean, at this moment in time, I do feel like Sapnap is in control. I think Sapnap's plans are a little bit easier. It's literally just push that central pawn, try to promote it, and we have a situation where Sambucha needs to win. So I think that Sapnap really needs to make a big blunder, like losing both of his pawns and Sambucha being able to push that B pawn. But yeah, now that B pawn is gone, I'm getting more sad for Sambucha because look at this. Now he has 2 passed pawns. Sapnap has 2 passed pawns, and they're going to start running, and the idea is going to be very simple. And now, yeah, I guess now Sapnap missed blocking with the rook. He could have done that and quite easily won the game to trade off those rooks, as if he did that, he would just simply be able to push the A and B pawn, and the king would not be in time to stop it. But now he's finding this idea, and it's going to be really tough for Sambucha to activate his rook because look,
he
now
played
the rook
rook
is
h6.
It's
I was
in
actually
jail.
going to say that rook h6 is, yeah, but it's still his best chance. I mean, he is going to lose, but I appreciate him trying to keep the rooks on the board. Maybe he needs to play f5 here to get the rook over to a6. And he's
That's
actually playing
nice.
as well as he can.
Wow, he found that. That is a really nice idea, to be honest. This is really impressive. Maybe Sambucha has been practicing some endgames.
Should we listen in on their streams and see if they're commentating?
Yes, I want to hear.
That's his move there.
A lot of focus.
Yes, Sapnap is not even talking.
Some focus. This must be such a terrifying position because at any point, anything can change. Okay, so yeah, he goes for the check. He starts pushing the pawn. We have a check. Where will the king go? Where will Sapnap?
If the king goes back, then maybe there's a chance that Sambucha can bring his king forward and find some kind of checkmate. I'm not cheering against anyone here, but it is always fun to go to tiebreak, and that is his best hope here.
Yeah, no, he definitely
If he plays
has
this
to
right,
try
it should be
something
easy
like
for
that.
him.
Wait, is Sapnap
Is this,
playing a different game at the same time? Do you see what I see?
I'm
Or is
seeing
he
that.
just
I was confused
frozen?
as well. I guess he's
Oh,
frozen.
I think his stream is just frozen. I only looked at his camera. I was like, wow, he's really locked in. The man's not even moving. My bad. Okay, well,
Okay, we're coming
Sapnap
back.
did move his king forward. There are still some checkmate ideas if Black would have been able to get his king to f6, but he didn't. Oh, we're coming back to
Go here. He cannot come up here.
There we go.
I'm just gonna bring
Look at
myself
that
over
king
here.
being
with
so
my pieces.
active. Wow.
Go here, next move. Get
This is
behind my
really
pawn.
nice by Sapnap.
It should be over.
Is this Andrea that has taught
Myself down
Sapnap some
spawn
endgames,
here.
Alex?
Sapnap really loves chess,
Here.
and he's been playing for so long. I think he must be one of the more
Here.
experienced players here by far. I don't know if Andrea can get credit for his endgames, though, you know?
I want to give Andrea some credit, Alex. I'm trying to give your
I
sister
don't even know
some
what the right
credit.
move is here.
No, that's totally fair. And you know, Sambucha, sometimes there isn't a right move. It's just the fighting spirit.
This is so beautiful. The king, the rook, the two pawns. Sapnap has played this perfectly.
And now he is preparing to push a8. He's
fumble
defending
here.
the square.
There we have the
There
queen.
goes Sambucha's rook. Yep.
Yeah. And now the b pawn is just gonna push all the way, and he's even gonna have a rook and a queen probably to checkmate that king. So he's trying
Anna,
to
what are
push
your
with his
thoughts
pawn.
Back here.
on beginners resigning? Do you think they should keep fighting here, or?
Oh yes, I hate the words. I hate when chat goes resign now. I think that absolutely you should keep going the whole way.
Resign
there's
now.
always a chance of
Yeah, that's
stalemate.
fair. And
I
even
see
a
it so
stalemate
often.
wouldn't be enough for him here, but it's still gonna count towards points overall. So he's gotta try.
Yeah, and the game will be over soon anyways. There's no
It's
reason to
GG's.
not
He
play
knows
out
the
for
ladder
1 more
technique,
minute.
probably. He's gonna just put me.
Wait,
He
does
knows the
Sapnap
end
not
is
know the
near.
ladder technique?
Just be careful.
I'm sure he does.
Not the stalemate.
Okay, he's just giving 2 checks for fun.
Alright, if I go here.
I guess, yeah.
See that
There we
thing
go.
here. And this is checkmate no matter what.
GG Sapnap.
We did it, chat! We did
Nicely
it! Let's go.
done.
That is a
Great
nice
game.
result for Sapnap.
Do you both have time to
Wow.
come on for an interview?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're checking to see if he's gonna
Yeah, I'm
do
good
an
to go.
interview.
Wow, we
And
both played
All right,
so
I've
well.
gone ahead
What?
and put a.
There
okay,
we
cool.
go.
So looking at the finals now, we see that Sapnap is gonna go up against Wolfie in the semifinals, trying to compete for that final spot. Anna, who do you think is a favorite in that match?
Okay, listen, I have been coaching Wolfie. Has been my student. I've been giving him a lot of coaching sessions. Even when I was out for a chess tournament, I stayed up all night coaching him. So, I mean, I know, I'm a commentator, but there could be a little bit of bias inside of me. So I want to say that Wolf is going to do great, but Sapnap does have a lot of experience. I do think that Sapnap absolutely is going to put up a really great fight, and I think it's going to be really close. But honestly, I was really impressed by Wolfie's chess yesterday. He played fantastic the whole day, so I'm really excited to see that matchup, Sapnap versus Wolfie. What do you think?
For sure. And I think Wolfie is also the highest rated in PogChamps. And I'm talking here a lot about Sapnap's experience, but that doesn't mean that the other players haven't also been grinding, especially in this championship bracket. But you know what? Maybe we'll ask Sapnap that soon, because we will be doing double interviews next after what I believe is a short break.
I think thinking ahead, like thinking about your next moves is obviously really important in chess and is a big thing in Fortnite.
Do you think I'm smarter than you?
Yes.
Lie.
Well, you have to define intelligence because for me, like, okay, there's emotional intelligence. I think IQ and general knowledge, Alex is definitely smarter. I think I'm more creative, but I don't think most people value creativity, intelligence. I do. So again, intelligence is a very loaded question, but I do generally think you're smarter.
True. With some doubts.
With some doubts.
With some doubts. Would you die for your sister?
Yes.
Oh, true.
Wow. If I had to sacrifice myself to let her live, I would do it.
Do you think she would do the same?
Yes.
I would.
She's not sure, but she thinks yes.
Do you think, as a unit, we're the best chess content creators?
Yes.
Yes, maybe, but after she thought a little bit about it, it's a lie.
That's a good read. I think when you said it as a unit, I thought you meant if I thought we're the best duo. I think we're by far the best duo in chess content because there's no other duos. But I think we're greater than chess content creators in a sense of outside of the chess world. We're better creators. They're better at chess, but we're better at general content, and I believe that.
Do you think you would be a good girlfriend?
Yes. With some doubts.
No, but she thinks she would.
Do you think you'd be a faithful girlfriend?
Yes.
Yes, she thinks so.
Do you think Hikaru is a better content creator than you and your sister?
No.
I think she would say define successful.
I think he's better chess content creator, but I think we're more talented content creators.
Do you think Levi is a better creator than you and your sister?
No. Well, in chess content, yes.
I would say that it's a lie.
I think he's a better chess content creator than us. I don't think he's a better creator. But he honestly works probably harder than us, so it's hard.
I think thinking ahead, like thinking about your next moves is obviously really important in chess and is a big thing in Fortnite. So I think that's kind of the main takeaway I'm gonna have from being a pro player for so long, and I'm hoping that's gonna help me a bit. But I don't know, we're gonna have some tough competition, but I'm trying to do my best.
I think that Pokemon and chess actually have a lot in common. It's a lot about understanding like where your position, what your position is relative to your opponents, understanding when it's time to make risky like plays, understanding when it's time to kind of pull back and play safe, and a lot about understanding how the current board state influences the future one, being able to see a couple moves ahead and understand, yeah, like relative positioning. So I think overall it's actually quite similar, and it's interesting kind of coming back to chess after I haven't really played seriously in well over a decade, and seeing how as my skills as a Pokemon player have developed, I'm also able to understand chess in a different light.
The one similarity that I have is that I think camping is pretty good. I capitalize on mistakes instead of making the aggressive option.
So I have a pretty good memory. It's kind of like how I got into content, actually. I'm like a geography buff, so I kind of like memorizing facts, data, and like it's not completely the same because I feel like chess is more repetition and pattern recognition and just sort of staying calm and like evaluating the board in front of you. But there's definitely like certain mnemonic things to kind of remember and apply that I'm pretty good at that definitely will help if I apply it the right way to chess.
Some chaotic kind of vibe, my inner symphony. Add them all together and you get a masterpiece. Golden painted accolades, whatever they may be, I would trade it all for peace. I'd trade it all for peace. This is not enough. This is not enough. This is not enough to get you out of my head. This is not enough. This is not enough. This is not enough to get you out of my head. This is not enough. This is not This is not enough. This is not enough. This is not enough to get you out of my head. This is not enough. This is not enough. This is not enough to get you out of my head. Get you out of my head.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here with the 2 stars with Sambucha and Sapnap. Congratulations on a fantastic match, and congratulations, Sapnap, on advancing. I wanted to ask you, Sapnap, I mean, you're playing a fantastic endgame. I was like, he's literally following old principles. How much have you been studying before this tournament? Because you kind of came in at last minute. Did you have a lot of time to prepare?
30 minutes before, I got a message on Discord. I literally just like somehow randomly woke up in my sleep and looked at my phone. They're like, "Can you play in the next 20 minutes?" I was like, "You know what? Why not?" But I think it's actually helped me. I think over preparing is the reason why I lost a lot in the last ones, because I was just trying to do like specific things too much, and it would just like screw me over.
Yeah, and speaking of the last PogChamps, I think last time you made it all the way to the quarterfinals. Now you're in the semifinals. How are you feeling going into those?
I feel pretty good. I think I played really good today. So if I played like I did today and don't just like blunder, I think I could win, to be honest.
That brilliant move was amazing. Like the rook sacrifice in the first game. Did you see that coming, Sambucha? Like you must have been shocked when this rook just came in and took that bishop.
Yeah, it's gonna be in my nightmares. I mean, Sapnap played amazingly like both games. I think there was like a clear skill gap at that point. So like I looked at the game review afterwards. I saw his like effective elo on the games was like 1400 each. I think the second game was like 1500, 1550 with like a 90% accuracy, which at that point it's just like I'm not gonna ever win that unless I dedicated more time and learning. So hats off to Sapnap. He played great. And I think if you continue to play like that, you should be good to win the tournament.
Thank you. I don't know if I'll continue to play. I don't know. I'm really inconsistent, so we'll see.
Yeah, Sambucha,
Yeah.
I've been really impressed with your play so far also. Even in this last game, there were certain opening endgame principles you were even understanding well, like not trading off your rook. But I do have kind of an important question for you. Who would win in a fight? 100 people or one gorilla?
I mean, I am the authority on this. If you look in the background, I've definitely.
That's why I gotta ask you exactly.
I think
But
a
I want
question
some
like
analysis.
that. So 100 men. I think people underestimate like an average male who's probably like 160, 170 pounds compared to like a 400-pound gorilla with 5-10x strength of that of a human. Like you probably realistically only need like 20, 25 humans to take it down. I think it's like an overblown argument. Like if anything, a more realistic argument should be like 1 versus 20, but 1 versus 100. I think that's
Don't you
ridiculous.
think people would be afraid to charge the gorilla? Because I think if everyone charged at the same time, it would help. But I feel like people would be terrified.
I think the counterpoint is that I think the gorilla would be scared the moment he sees like 10 plus men kind of coming its way. Because I feel like they're not pacifists. I'm sure they get aggressive, but like I'm sure that they're timid enough where it's like they see a group of people, kind of like a bear, they'll just kind of like retreat a bit. So if like emotions are coming into play, human emotions plus bear, I actually think the bear retreats before the humans do.
Okay, well,
gorilla,
that was
sorry.
honestly the analysis I was most excited for here. Thank you so much.
You'll see where
Sambucha.
the prep has gone into all the wrong places. I should have like put this analysis into chess. But no, this was great.
Would
This was so
you
much
play? Would you play in another PogChamps? I mean, this is Sapnap's second PogChamps, and he's played another creator event. So I feel like you're just getting started.
I think it's my third, actually.
Oh, you're
Oh,
third.
wow.
Okay.
Sorry,
thank
yeah,
you.
I think I picked. Sorry.
No, you're good. Please correct me if I say anything wrong.
Yeah, I'd love to compete again. I mean, anytime. I think chess is a beautiful game. I love it. I love the personalities around chess as well. I think it's a really fun community. And I think it's a great limitless game. Like it's rewarding because you can only kick yourself at the end of the day if you don't do well, which in other games, sports, it's not always the case. But I think chess is a game that, I mean, it's timeless for a reason. It's just a great game. And I'd love to continue competing for sure.
I think that you're a winner, Sambucha, for having a gorilla at home. Like, I feel like
The bar is so low, but I'll take it.
no, but like you're probably the only chess player in the world that has that. That is amazing.
I'll take
So
it.
I
Yeah,
really hope
I'll take
that you
that
play more
win.
tournaments
Yeah,
in the
thank you.
future.
Absolutely.
Do you have anything else coming up? Anything big coming up after this?
Not really, just, the status quo, just putting out videos and just doing my thing. Nothing crazy though coming up. This was like my big thing circled. I was really excited about this, and I'm still going to watch, of course, like the championship bracket. But now on my end, nothing really.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys both for coming on. Sapnap, congratulations. Sambucha, I'm sure this is not going to be the last we see of you guys. And enjoy the rest of the day. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank
you so much.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Bye, everyone.
All right. So up next, we're going to see another quarterfinal matchup. We're going to see a game between Steven Nedoroscik and Inoxtag. Anna, any predictions for that match?
Well, here we go, Alex. You see, here's the thing. I was also Steven's coach. I coached two people. It was Wolfie and it was Steven. So I'm really excited to see Steven play. I'm really excited that, he's done so well. He's in the championship bracket in the quarterfinals. I will say this, though. Inoxtag loves chess. He's really good. And I think this match is going to be really close. Like, this is going to be a nail-biter for sure. I played an event in France a couple months ago that Inoxtag invited me to, and I saw him play there, and he was playing great. So I'm excited to see what happens here.
Awesome. And we're off to the races. The game has started, and my favorite thing about Inoxtag is that he plays the French defense. And here we see the advanced variation from Steven. And they're also really close in elo, actually.
They are, and I'm gonna be honest, Alex, when I saw E6, I thought that Inoxtag might play the cow. I've seen the cow so much this PogChamps, I was getting so excited. I was gonna scream in French, you know, that's awesome. But then he didn't. But yeah, this is more solid, I guess. Oh!
Okay, so he's giving up the pawn on e5 here. And there are lines in the French where white is trying to give up pawns for compensation, but I have a feeling that was probably just a mistake.
I think so. From Steven's smile and his hands up in the air, I think that he's saying that he missed that pawn. I think he played bishop
let's
e3
go to his
just a little
chat. I want to
quickly.
hear it.
Yeah.
But we're gonna recover from that
Let's hear him.
easily. Easily.
Yeah, you're right,
Positivity.
Anna. We're gonna recover. It gave it away, yes.
Yeah. He's a very positive person, though, and he never
want him to
resigns
jump
and
over
fights
here.
the whole time, so.
So let's actually play here.
Oh, yeah, I guess he didn't see the queen was defending there.
Let's try to find a way to spin this opening of my center into a positive. We have 3 pawns over here. He has 2. So if we can manage to win this pawn, it'd be very good for us.
Wow, he
Honestly,
really is
even-
positive.
Quite.
He's the most positive person I know. That's why I wanted to
this is
coach
ugly,
him.
Wait, Anna, you're the most
Ugly
positive
at
person I know. You guys must be the dream coach-student team.
Listen, Steven is even more positive than me. Like, I agree with you, Alex. I thought I was positive, but I'm nothing like Steven. He's my inspiration.
That's crazy. I don't
We are gonna
believe it,
castle
Anna.
Just to get safety.
Just listen into him, this broadcast, and you'll see that I'm
He's gonna
right.
jump in. He's looking for these squares here. One defensive move that
Pour l'instant, on a un pion en plus,
quite
mais
good. Oh, but he can't even move here.
faut pas s'exciter.
I just win a piece, so we're not gonna
We're
worry
hearing
about
some
that.
French over here as
Développe des
well.
pièces.
We
venir
do
mettre
want
un
to get
échec
this
ici.
guy out of here, though. So I think it might even be beneficial to just
C'est
do
dangereux
this.
d'ailleurs.
Pretty much wherever
Ooh, I'm
he goes,
scared
gets
of this
him in
move.
trouble, almost.
I'm scared of this move, Alex, because I feel like if he goes bishop f4, he moves up his bishop 1 square. It could happen that the knight moves, and then there's going to be this threat of the pawn push, e5, and then maybe both the bishop and knight could get forked. Might not happen, but there's the risk, and it's sometimes easy to miss those sort of moves when you're happy with the position of all your pieces.
Yeah, I hope you're not putting a commentator's curse here on Steven, but I think another educational thing from here is usually when you're starting off, you want to try to develop your pieces before moving the ones you've already taken twice. I think he's changing his style a little bit just because he's trying to attack the knight on e5, since that is not usual knight placement either.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that after he lost the pawn, definitely things changed. So I just hope that he develops pretty quickly. Okay, he played knight b5, threatening the bishop. I think this makes sense too. But I suppose he's just gonna retreat with the bishop maybe and then keep the tension. Although I think if he's able to get Inoxtag's bishop over there, maybe this won't have been such a bad idea. He's playing very actively, which I like when he's a pawn down.
Yeah, and the computer didn't really like this move, but I kind of disagree with the computer, at least at this elo level. I think it's better for Steven to be active. So far, both players are actually doing really well with time management. They're almost even on the clock. I also really like Steven's idea that he mentioned where he wants to get the C pawn and try to trade it for the central D5 pawn. So I feel like his strategy so far is pretty solid.
I definitely think so too. And I know when I played him a few days ago, like I won a pawn early on and he was like, oh, he castled. Yeah, so now this is why we see, Alex, you're right. Knight b5 was a really strong move at this level because now after you take, you can start really hitting this knight in the middle. And because the knight is pinned, there can be a lot of chaos created. Like for instance, if knight takes bishop, Inoxtag's queen has to take back, and now we can centralize White's queen to d4 and attack this knight, then it could get really scary. He's going for c4, I guess, with the idea that if pawn takes, the bishop is hanging, so the idea makes sense. But unfortunately, the problem is that Inoxtag can now capture that pawn with the knight, and at the same time defend the bishop. So let's see if Inoxtag finds this.
Yeah, and I think this is also showing how when you have a plan set, sometimes you don't adapt as much to what your opponent wants to move, because we heard him talking about how he wants to push his pawn to c4. So I think he might be tunneling a little bit on that plan. Inoxtag is one of those players who moves while he's thinking. I totally get it. And I've actually read that for some people that it can actually help them think a little bit more effectively.
Oh, wow, he really is. He really is. He's moving so much. Alex, I heard the other day that when you were commentating, there were a lot of queen blunders that happened during those games. Is that true?
I have never seen so many queen blunders in PogChamps before. It was truly remarkable. But hey, this is the championship bracket, so I think we're going to slow down, Anna.
Okay, I'm just saying, because I'm excited to see if that can happen again. So
wait,
I'm just curious.
I see people going back to the important questions of today, but I have another one for you. Who would win in a fight? 100 Anna Kramlings or 1 gorilla? Let me know your thoughts.
Are you kidding? Quantity over quality there, Alex. Quantity's too
You
much.
think 100 Annas could take a gorilla? Chat doesn't seem too optimistic is all I'm gonna say.
Absolutely. We'll pile all the Annas up. The gorilla will be terrified, Alex.
For sure. So terrified. And oh no. So here, actually, Inoxtag forced Steven to make the best move. He attacked his knight, and now he did take on d6, and we're going to see Hannah's plan with queen d4 potentially if Steven is able to take advantage of this pin. I would love to hear what they're saying, but it doesn't seem like they're talking.
Sorry, I screamed. I was gonna say right now, Alex, I think he's gonna go c5 because he's gonna get so excited by the idea that he can deviate that queen and hope that Inox captures the pawn, because then he can take the knight. But yeah, he is. So he played it. So I really thought he was gonna play it. But now actually Inoxtag has a fantastic move, which is knight f3 check. Taking advantage of the fact that the bishop is undefended, and after Steven takes that knight, he could take the bishop. But I don't know how likely that move is to happen, because it's not the first move that comes to mind at this level. The first move that comes to mind is just simply moving the queen, because it's the queen that's under attack.
Yeah, and the other thing that's tricky about it is that Inoxtag would have to realize how much of a threat this pin is. Wow, and he plays it. We need to give him more credit. Let's go. Vive la France. Even though we are Team USA here.
Well, Team USA, Team Sweden, I mean, Team...
Yeah, we're all the teams. We support everyone.
We're all the teams in the world. We support everyone. But yeah, that is very impressive. Wow, very high quality move there by Inoxtag. It's, yeah, we need to give him more credit. I didn't think he was going to find it, but he did.
No, that's really incredible. And now Inoxtag is keeping his advantage. Steven's pawn on c5 might be a little overextended right now. He's not going to be able to defend with b4 right away, so that's a target. But on the flip side, Inoxtag has the classic bad French bishop on c8, which always is blocked by the pawns of the same color. But again, I don't think the eval is as bad as the engine says at this level.
Ça peut être stylé, mais j'aimerais bien développer mes pièces. Donc je pense que la priorité là, c'est développer mes pièces. Le cavalier là, il est pas dangereux. Après, il peut faire ça et ça. Et là, il peut devenir très dangereux. Il peut aller ici, ce cavalier. Donc pour moi, faut vite que je challenge ça. Comment il va le défendre? Il pourra pas pousser. Donc je pense que la meilleure strat, c'est de se mettre ici et d'attaquer 2 fois. Et pas développer tout de suite. Allez, je prends la décision. J'ai perdu un peu de temps. Je menace ça et je menace ça. On va essayer de manger ça. S'il avance, je mange. Et je suis très bien en bonne position. J'ai le centre. Je pense que je suis gagnant sur l'ordinateur. Juste faut que je prenne un peu moins de temps. Donc mon prochain coup, faut que je joue vite.
He had the right idea that his knight would be attacked, but he missed that he could also attack it with the bishop.
Moi, je me mets là, je pense. Je développe mes pièces.
That's hanging. Guys, I'm throwing.
Oh no.
Je pense qu'il va se mettre là.
Oh wait. Yeah, it's hanging. It's just free. Aye.
Well,
will he notice? He's gonna notice. I should have gone for this. What was I thinking? Yeah. Very dumb. Very dumb. I am not playing sharp right now, guys.
It happens to everyone. Don't no. Oh no, he should take the knight with a pawn so that at least.
But I can do this. I can do this.
He can recapture.
I'll just do this.
He has to take the queen. There you go. There you go.
Je joue tellement risqué, les gars.
Yeah, so he was able to save his piece here. There you go.
He's still up a pawn. It wasn't a complete blunder, which is great. That is awesome. And I'm really liking what's actually happening here. This pawn is annoying and kind of dumb. This is going to be my problem right here, I think.
Steven's position is a little bit hard to play here.
Let's start to suffocate his pieces. I don't want this knight in the game. And if I'm going to trade it, I'm going to trade it and win a pawn out of it. Okay. Okay, he's rerouting. He's going to reroute.
Ok, il va pousser, il va attaquer. Moi, si je pousse ici, il va pousser là. Mais j'ai une bonne strat.
In this position, it's actually easier to play with the knight since it's closed than the bishop.
S'il mange... Ah non, faut pas que je pousse. Parce qu'il va manger, je pourrais pas...
I should have moved this, maybe.
Par contre, je peux pousser là. Ouais, on va faire ça. Il a avancé ici.
Steven might actually be able to win back a pawn here.
Allez.
I want to win my pawn back. This is so ugly, though. That's going to be really hard to defend.
Instead of defending,
I might need to sack a
can
pawn
also
on
put
this
pressure
square.
on the b2 pawn. There we go.
Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry I left you for a little bit, Alex. I feel like I've missed a lot whilst I was gone, but I am
It's okay,
back
Anna.
now.
I was trying to talk over them, and I don't think chat knew you were missing because it was still on their stream, so I was trying to be sneaky about it. Anna disconnected for a little bit.
Well, I am back now. The secret is out. So fill me in. What happened whilst I was gone? Inoxtag still looking really good with an extra pawn in this endgame.
Yeah, I actually think Steven recovered pretty well because even though he's still down a pawn, at least he doesn't have those ugly doubled pawns, and he does have a passed pawn as well now too. And before the position was closed, so his bishop wasn't as active, but now I'm actually starting to like his chances, even though the engine doesn't. Well, I think the engine doesn't like it here because there was rook c2 after, maybe.
Yeah, that could be the reason. But yeah, I was gonna say I'm sad that Steven didn't push that B pawn. There's a saying in chess, which is when you have a passed pawn, you should push it. So yeah, now wow, look at that. Very nicely played here by by Inoxtag to get this knight up to c4. It's such a strong knight right now, and typically in chess you'd say that rooks and bishops work better than rooks and knights in endgames, but that knight on c4 is just so strong. And if Steven would try to capture it, then Inoxtag would just get a fantastic passed pawn on c4.
Yeah, and now he pushed f6. His idea is he's trying to bring the king into the endgame. It is possible that he also created a little bit of a target on e6. The white bishop would have a little bit more to do. Okay, rook c3. Anna, why is this a mistake?
Yeah, that is a great question.
We moved on.
I think it's not anymore. Oh, he had the chance there. Could have taken the knight, and then when pawn takes, and he could have taken back that pawn and defended. But obviously hard to see, right? Pawn gets attacked, you want to defend pawn. And so he pretty quickly simply defended the pawn, probably just missing that he could do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, now
he could have taken on c4, yeah.
Exactly. So rook b3 was played, the knight went to d2, and now he is attacking that knight. The question is, will Steven at any point take on c4, or will he not, do you think?
Right. I mean, here he doesn't want to take on c4 just yet. Okay, he's starting to push his pawn. He's not going to be able to push it any further. I would love to see either of the players start bringing their kings in, and as soon as I say it, Steven starts. Let's go.
But
And,
isn't there knight d2 check? Wasn't there knight d2 check? Am I missing that?
Wait. No, I think you're right. There was knight d2 check. Okay, shoot. He just missed a huge winning move. Wait, let's jump quickly on Steven's stream because I think he's explaining his thought process.
Maybe he's not. I think he's locked in. But he's doing the right thing of trying to bring in the king.
I think this is the only plan that I have left. He goes here.
He's saying that as if his position is lost almost. But I actually, even though he's down a pawn, I'm predicting
try to do something tricky.
Steven is going to win this game.
You think he's going to win this game?
I think he's going to win this game despite the fact that knights are trickier. I don't know why. It's just a vibe, Anna. He's up on time and bishops can travel faster in the endgame.
But look at those pawns. Inoxtag is pushing all of his pawns. The only thing that I can see that could be bad is if Steven's king can get very centralized.
Here.
But Inoxtag is playing this really well, I think.
I agree. I do think he's playing this well. I hope he is going to bring his king in. I know I'm giving a little bit of a controversial opinion here, but it's just a gut feeling, Anna. You know, I always like gambling a little bit, even with imaginary points.
Okay, so the question is, will you jinx it or will you not, Alex?
moment
I'm only worried about that move. Yep.
So, wow, Inox is really pushing his pawns. He's trying to get that e-pawn to become a very scary passed pawn. Question is, will he be able to do so or will he lose the pawn? Because this actually could get very tricky now for both.
And then we have to push. He pushes, I move back.
Oh, I don't love e2 moving back with the rook. I would like to see him chase with the king if that happens.
Yeah, I agree. He needs to go king d2. He needs to push his king and get it closer. The rook should definitely be supporting that b pawn. But the thing is, maybe then, actually, if the king gets closer, maybe he can start pushing the c pawn in X. Those two pawns can be very deadly very soon.
Okay, he's
I
now
think I just walk up to it, guys.
the king
I don't know
d1,
if he
king
can stop
e2.
it. Because look, if I go here and he defends it, I get this pawn. And then I can push and threaten this. Something about my king being active and my rook being behind the most advanced pawn is actually saving me right now.
Very good strategic thinking there. Oh, he can...
Oh my god. B8.
Oh,
B8.
wow.
He needs to push B8.
He's going to be able to push b8, and now the idea is that he's going to make a queen, and it's going to be with check.
He goes with the,
this is winning for
knight.
Steven now.
Knight check.
Uh-oh, he hesitated.
Here. Check here. It's going to be okay, I think.
It's funny that he's
gotta make a
calculating the
queen.
knight. Yeah,
Now he's also
don't worry
pinned.
about the knight. Just get your queen.
Oh, I traded check. Okay. Here. Check.
Realizing.
Yes. We win.
Wow, kind of a cool prediction from the commentators, huh? No, I'm just kidding.
We win.
Okay, good job, Alex. You did it.
Thank you. Well, actually, it's still too early. It's still too early. We have to see if he can capture the e2 pawn, and maybe actually Inoxtag does have chances to come back with king g3.
Oh,
there you go. Now it's a draw again. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the live board.
It's the jinx, Alex.
I'm a jinx. This is what I get for taking credit too early. Never count your chickens before they
no,
hatch.
I think I drew.
You did draw. Actually, no. He might be losing now.
He's gonna. Alex, this is the commentator curse. The pawn, the king, and the pawn are so strong together. If he just goes king e1, I mean, okay, yeah, this is even worse actually for Steven. Yeah, the pawns are gonna be lost.
Yeah, I really don't know what happened here. Steven started playing really quickly. I think he was a bit overconfident. But now
He threw.
Yeah, he did throw, unfortunately. But hey. No, you know, he can throw back. You never know. I'm sorry, Chad. I didn't mean for that to happen.
He was so close. He had to just bring the king back instead of playing with the rook. It was so important to cut off Black's king. Inoxtag's only piece that he could play with was that king. But yeah, now Inoxtag's king is in perfect defense of that E1 square, and he's going to be able to promote the next move. And unfortunately, Steven will lose his rook and probably the game.
Well, you know, endgames are still tricky, but after king takes... I'm looking at the live board again. But Black is going to have the G pawn that can just push all the way. Oh no. This is going to be a tough one for Steven to recover from. He didn't even get a draw.
It is. No, he definitely had to probably play a little slower there, but it's easy to think you're just winning. You're a rook up, you see the rook, and you think, oh, it's easily winning. But that's when mistakes can happen, and that's what we see here. But he's still...
Dang it.
I was going to say he's going to go for the stalemate, but he resigned. So that wasn't the case.
Hey, I know I could have blundered these before too. I can't say I haven't done it. And also, congratulations for Inoxtag. Wow!
Look at that! Let's fucking go! Let's
even in English!
Putain!
Way! Allez! Is that what you say in French?
Guys, we are going to have a short break here, about 5 or 6 minutes.
Oh, la game de
The
merde.
exact times is...
Wow, congratulations.
I'm going to be kicking myself for that.
Incredible.
Looks like we have...
We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and see the second game in the quarterfinals between Steven and Inoxtag. Let's see if Steven can come back, and very well done on Inoxtag.
I find myself freestyling a bit, just kind of like being reactive. But if there was like an opening, I don't do this often. If I'm playing seriously, I won't do this, but I do like the Bon Cloud opening of just bringing my king out early, having some fun with it.
I have just been doing a bunch of king pawn opening, but I always lose the opening, it feels like, in all my practice games. No matter what I do, it feels like I just always end up super far behind. So I've been trying to learn the Caro Con defense, but I only learned half of it, so that I lose even worse.
Because it puts me, I like having my back against the wall, because then I like really think.
King's pawn, and I also like to develop all my knights really, really early and get all my pieces of motion before I take any risks at all.
I don't even know what the name of it is. No, openings is not my strong suit. I take the... Wait, I don't even know the English words of the pieces. It's the
way that I think about it is just like, if I'm doing a lot of standard openings, then I'm going to be in a lot of standard situations. And I kind of like the idea of freestyling and just like being adaptive to moves. But I have used recently, I think, like the Italian and then maybe I guess the Sicilian on defense if I'm playing black, just like some classic stuff like that.
the pawn. You take it 2 steps and then I take the other one 1 step.
Do you know how to pre-move checkmate the right way? It's one of the coolest things you can do in a chess game, especially with the clock ticking down. Unless you screw it up, like Ludwig did here.
He's still making it! No! Oh my, don't do it! He's gonna do it! Don't do it! Don't do it! Oh my!
And stalemate, a serious risk that I will teach you how to avoid. Unless you're a bullet god, like Hikaru Nakamura, Daniel Nedoroscik, or Amon Mona Lisa Hambleton, you will probably need to be up a lot of material to pre-move checkmate. But don't overdo it. 2 queens is really all you need. More than that begs for stalemate. To pre-move checkmate, you will deliver a ladder checkmate like Ludwig attempted. But here's the trick. When you get a queen to the 3rd rank, don't slide your other queen forward to the 2nd rank right away. If your opponent has hidden their king on the right square like BoxBox did, it could be stalemate. Instead, line up both queens on the 3rd rank. No matter where your opponent's king is, this will avoid stalemate. Your opponent's king will have to run away from the squares controlled by the queen, and no matter what, you pre-move the queen to the 2nd and 1st rank next. Boom, it's checkmate. Just like that, you can lean back, sip some tea, and watch the show. To master this at game speed for your next bullet game, you're gonna need some practice. Go to go.chess.com/premove checkmate today, get your reps in, and master that pre-move mate. And keep watching PogChamps 6 live right here on Chess.com. Your brain is a supercomputer, capable of millions and millions of complex calculations and decisions. But your brain needs exercise, practice to keep it sharp and incisive. Chess puzzles are a great way to work out your brain. Daily puzzle solving makes your mind fit, building pattern recognition, critical thinking, and memory. Doing puzzles every day makes your mind fit, helping you build creativity, problem solving, and memory skills. Puzzles on Chess.com feature hundreds of thousands of original, beautiful problems tailored to your level. Whether you've never played before or you're a veteran, whatever level you're at, Chess.com's coach will help explain both the puzzle and the solution so you learn as you go. Most importantly, Chess.com puzzles are fun. Find interesting, beautiful solutions while building streaks, leveling up, and competing with friends. Try puzzles today on Chess.com and give your brain the exercise it's craving.
guys, we are back. How's everyone doing? Are you ready to see the second matchup?
I am so ready to see the second matchup. I hope chat is just as ready as I am, because you should be. It is the moment. Either Steven or Inoxtag will be moving forward to the semifinals, and right now it's looking great for Inoxtag. Vive la France! He won the first game. Will Steven be able to make a comeback or not? He has to win now, or he's going to be knocked out. What do you think, Alex? What's your prediction right now, right off the bat?
Well, I don't want to curse anything again, but Steven is definitely capable of making a comeback. And the good thing about Steven is he doesn't seem like he's tilted. He's still smiling. He's ready to go. And the games are underway.
They are. Steven, like I said, very positive person. He's still smiling. He's enjoying chess, like my mom would say. He's having fun with chess. And yeah, we see here Inox playing at kind of London, and yeah, Steven is also playing bishop f5, kind of a similar pawn situation here.
Yeah, I'm curious why he chose to go for knight c6. It is sometimes a little bit harder to play that because then you don't have the ideas of the c5 putting pressure on the center. But again, you know, you don't have to play the most accurate or up-to-date openings. Honestly, probably not even until far further on your ELO journey. So far, the opening's solid, pretty symmetrical. It is going to be a little trickier for Steven to come back with black, but honestly, it doesn't really matter at this level.
No, it really doesn't matter, but I am surprised because Steven always wanted to go c5. Like, he would always say, Anna, I want to play c5, and he's literally putting his knight in a place where he cannot play c5 anymore. So I do am a little bit surprised about that, but the important thing is just for them to get their pieces out, castle early on, and then here we go. Now we see Inoxtag being able to break through with c4. That's a very good move by him.
Yep. And from coaching Steven, what do you feel like his strengths and weaknesses are?
I feel like Steven can find really complicated tactics and he can really quickly see them. And I think he honestly has a lot of talent and good intuition. I think his biggest weakness is that maybe sometimes he gets a bit of tunnel vision, which is so typical when you're a beginner. Like, he really likes a plan and he wants to keep going with it, but sometimes, you know, the plans change. But yeah, I think he has great intuition and he can find sometimes tactics that are way above his level, I think. So I'd say that's his biggest strength.
Cool. Well, let's take a listen in on the two players and see what they're thinking here.
Comme ça m'arrange. Ça m'arrange de malade. Cavalier ici. On développe les pièces. Rien de dangereux. S'il vient là, je mange. Après, je peux remanger son pion.
We're hearing some French, Alex. Do you speak any French?
I do, actually. When he said mange le pion, it meant eat the pawn. I love that it's mange. I don't know if that's how actual French chess players talk about it, but it should be.
It is. In Spanish, it's also eating pieces. So it's definitely the same.
I'd like to do
look
this.
at that knight.
Knight
Now
E5
definitely
just played.
Steven cannot take that knight with the knight right now. If he does that, it's going to be a big fork.
And I think he sees that because he was hovering his rook over to E8.
I think rook a8 would be a good move, but now we see the problem of his knight on c6.
Does that come with any other
He would
threats?
love
I'm
to
not
play
sure.
c5.
So now his knight went to
move his
E7,
knight.
and it goes back to us talking about how the knight on C6 is a little bit harder to play. But at least he's repositioning his pieces now. Now his knight can also go to G6.
Surely this slow maneuvering
I
is good
really
for us.
like that move. I really like that move. And now he's going to be able to play c5 maybe later on, move his knight to g6. Because the rook goes to c1. That's a surprising rook. Oh, c6. Okay. He wants to defend.
Yeah,
Very
I like
solid
C6
piece so far.
Yep. Connects the pawn chain.
Pour moi, on prend la colonne ouverte.
But how does he continue now? Is he just going to go knight g6 and just threaten the bishop?
I can also
Maybe he
scoop my
can do
queen
that.
here now.
Je mettrais bien mon cavalier ici pour l'empêcher d'aller là. Mais je sais pas si c'est
There's
bon
nothing
move.
discovery-wise that he'd be able to do.
En vrai, d'avoir
So
deux
I'm thinking
cavaliers
queen
ici, c'est
here.
puissant quand même. Mais en fait, après, je l'empêche plus de
You know,
venir.
here, kill,
Je sais pas si
kill.
c'est bonne strat. Je connais pas trop quoi faire dans ce genre de truc.
I don't like it.
Moi, je pense que s'il vient là,
H5, Alex. He can move his knight to the side and threaten the bishop.
une protection. Ça, c'est sûr.
Oh, he's pointing towards that.
J'aurais bien mis ça.
Knight
parce que
h5
ça
is an
m'empêche de
interesting
pousser.
option
Mais s'il
too.
vient là, je peux faire ça.
I like that he's really
Là, il mange
taking
avec
his
mon
time here though and looking at multiple
Je peux faire ça.
things that he
S'il
can try. I
pousse,
don't
je
like
suis dans la
b6
merde.
though. That would
S'il
really
pousse, il va
weaken
manger.
the
Après, je
c6 pawn and
remonte.
give it away for free.
J'ai un pion, j'ai une moins bonne structure de pion.
Alex, did you see that the
Pour moi,
chat
faut
said
vraiment que
that
je l'empêche de
Inoxtag is
pousser.
better than
Mais du coup, il va venir
MVL,
avec son
one of
cavalier
France's
ici,
best
c'est
chess
sûr.
players?
C'est sûr.
I did see that,
Et si je me
and
mets
as
là,
we know, Twitch chat is right about
je peux
everything.
venir ici aussi.
They are.
Tu sais
Twitch chat
quoi?
is always right.
Je vais me mettre là
And you
pour
chat
attaquer
as
là.
well.
Yes.
S'il mange,
Wants to jump in here,
je remonte.
but it doesn't work.
C'est relou s'il mange. Bon, tu sais quoi? C'est pas, je pense pas que c'est un
Maybe he wants to go
mauvais
here
move de faire ça.
and attack here.
Dans,
If I
la,
just
dans
move
ma
now.
tête, c'est pas un mauvais move pour l'instant.
So I like that Inoxtag notices that
Et pour
there's
moi, faut
almost an
hésiter un peu
outpost on
mieux.
c5, and he's putting his knights on better square. But I also didn't mind
still
if he
feels
would have
good to me.
played knight to f3 to reinforce his center knight.
Et pourquoi pas clouer ça?
I'm gonna be able to put this
No,
here.
I feel like now,
Open
Steven,
up my rook.
I like that move. Knight g6. I like that. I
that's
feel
good.
like he's trying to play on the
Even if
queen
he
side
jumps
with
in over
his
here,
arrows, but he should be
I mean, he
playing on the
can.
king side, in my
He would jump in
opinion.
here.
Like he's doing
And
now.
if he does that,
Il veut manger.
I can just boot him out, I think, honestly.
Donc au pire, on se met là.
So he will go there, but that kind of gives me this.
Moi, est-ce que je veux manger son cavalier? Puis
And
après,
that just looks
manger son
That
really
knight could
ugly
become
for
really
him
good
to
too.
deal
Je peux le
with.
garder.
So
Okay,
do it.
he's gonna put his
even if
knight
he
in
makes
the
this
center
trade, I'm
as
happy
well.
to open this up,
Ouais,
especially now that I
je vais
have
aller
this
mettre une
outpost.
double pression là, mais je sais pas
And
si
if he
c'est
goes here,
nécessaire pour
I
l'instant.
don't know if I want that trade.
Et peut-être que je peux commencer à pousser ce pion.
And that was the problem with putting his knight on b3. He wasn't holding down the e4 square anymore, and Steven did take advantage of it. All this being said, the position is still very symmetrical. We just have a few pieces swapped.
Yeah, it absolutely is. But I think what's smart also with this move, knight e4, that Steven played is that he's kind of preventing Inox's idea of going knight c5. So it's probably a very annoying move for him to deal with. So I think that this was a really nice move. And I mean, how is he going to kick it out? Maybe Inox will get annoyed and then play f3, but then Steven, I'm saying we, but it's Steven. But Steven then just takes the bishop, and then he's able to take that knight in the center as well and win a pawn. So honestly, it's definitely a tricky position for Inox right now. I think Steven has great chances in this game.
Yeah, and possibly the best move for Inox here is actually to retreat his knight back to d2, but it's always a little uncomfortable to feel like you wasted a move as well as going backwards.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely something that's very difficult. So we'll see here what Inox decides to do. How is he going to find a way out of this? I mean, to be honest, I feel like Inox, he has very good strategical understanding. He's been coached by a great international master, Julian Song. So I think that he might be able to get himself out of it. He decides to take the bishop, the knight on g6. So, and now we see, Steven taking with the f pawn. He wants to open up that file for the rook, but I hope he sees that the f2 pawn is not now under threat. The bishop can go backwards. Maybe his idea is to trade the bishops and then put the pawn under threat, which honestly is quite a good idea.
Yeah, I really like that idea because if bishop takes g3, he can't take with the h pawn, which is what he would normally want to do because then f2 is hanging. He would instead need to take with the f pawn, but then he's going to have a backwards pawn on e3. Still, both players are playing super accurately. Actually, Steven has 95% accuracy so far, and Inoxtag has 93.8. So they're both playing super well. And I do wonder, Inoxtag obviously knows that if he draws, he still wins the match. So it does take some of the pressure off of him and maybe makes it easier to just try and trade off pieces.
I think it does. I think he's enjoying this
I really
moment.
like knight takes d4 instead of h takes g3. Because now F2
Wow,
is hanging.
yeah.
Uh-oh. You played too quickly.
Now it can be. Yep. There's a very tricky position. The F2 pawn is hanging. This is exactly what Steven has been looking for several moves. And not only is that pawn hanging, that pawn was defending so many other pawns. It was kind of the beginning of a little chain. Now the G3 pawn and the E3 pawn are going to be weak. Inox obviously does have this fantastic knight on C5, but this can go south very quickly for Inox right now if he's not careful.
Yep. And Inox is threatening knight to e6, so we do have a fork. I don't think Steven is going to fall for it, but I do see him hovering his queen over g5. So actually, he might. Should we just take a look into his stream quickly?
Let's do it.
Oh, he changed his mind. Now he's looking at queen d6, which would be better.
He wants to put his queen somewhere. I mean, he's looking at queen g5 too.
Here.
But it's not a...
Here.
It just becomes a very tactical move if he does do that. I think he's not seeing the fork, to be honest.
Here. So I'll get another pawn out of it.
He's going for it.
Or do I go here instead?
Or?
Indecisive.
First. No, kicking it out gives him this square to run to.
Okay, so he hasn't seen the fork.
Let's go here. We threaten 2 pawns at once. He can take this pawn, but I think it gets very dangerous for him if he does that. Because then I have this square.
The computer gave it
I don't even like. He might be able to get away, but in getting away, let's see. Check.
But I don't think he sees why it's excellent. I think it's because after knight e6, he can take on e3, and then he has discovery attack.
Okay, good move.
Yeah. And Inox goes for that move, but I think Steven isn't too worried, to be honest.
No, I can't. If we sack.
Oh.
Does sacking work? Sack with check.
I mean, it does actually work.
That's a great move. Wow.
You were right, Anna. He is very tactical, but he is missing queen takes e3 after knight h3.
Or is he, Alex? Maybe you're now jinxing the wrong, the right way.
Yeah, this is how I'm supposed to make people win.
Or Steven is killing me with his almost moves. He's almost going for queen takes e3. It would be a great move. But there's a lot of good moves here that he can play.
Check here.
The queen and the knight and the rook are so good together.
Ooh.
Okay, he's going for it.
Queen h5. That was not the best move, but it does still keep pressure. You can play knight g4 after and threaten checkmate on h2, so it is very tricky. But I don't like that he's arrowing the knight to d3. I hope he finds the knight g4 idea just because it would be such a cute tactic threat.
I mean, right now he's threatening checkmate in 1. He's threatening queen h1 checkmate. So if Inox does nothing, it's going to be a checkmate. However, the thing is that the engine says that this is a blunder, but queen h5, I mean, it's
I have him in a really
only
tough
a
spot.
blunder if Inox finds this move knight f4, which is a very difficult move to find. That's why queen h6 was better than queen h5, because then the queen is not under attack. So I think this was practically quite a good move.
I actually completely missed that he was threatening checkmate. Steven is better than me. Inoxtag is better than MVL. I don't know what's going on today, but actually you're right. This is a brilliant move because it's so hard to find knight f4.
So hard to find. So, I mean, if Inox finds this, I'll stand up and give a big round of applause. Maybe I won't because my camera is lagging, but I'll literally stand up.
No, I want the standing ovation if this happens.
This is a tense game.
I will. I'll do a standing ovation.
2.5 minutes on the clock. We're up a pawn. We are attacking. Though,
I love the breakdown.
He definitely has some counterplay here.
Yeah, I'm really curious what Inoxtag is thinking, but I know his stream is a little bit delayed, so I don't know if we're going to go back
so we can go to the tie-breaking game.
Wow!
He saw it!
Finds it!
He's brilliant! Vive
He's
la
a brilliant
France!
chess player! Oh, wow! Chat was right! This is incredible! Inox finding this... How do you know? Oh, Champion de le Monde. Oui. Allez, Inox, this is happening, okay? I'm doing it. Alex, I'm doing it. I'm doing the standing ovation.
Standing
I'm gonna be
ovation,
standing
please.
like this. But
Okay.
this is
Wow. Thank you, Anna.
Wow.
That was deserved.
Crazy fine, beautiful move there by Inoxtag, and now Queen G4, he loses the knight, but he finds his counterattack of G5, pinning this knight. Honestly, very good find by Steven as well here. I think those are some great tactical finds.
Yep, and now we're back to seeing a level game. What a roller coaster. And actually, even though Inoxtag's king is on F2 and his pawn structure looks really funky, he is starting to have some attack ideas of his own now. If you see, the queen is pointing towards H7 and the H file is open, so he can bring in the rook to get in on the attack here.
I mean, a rook H1 would be a very sneaky move, and trust me, that queen is far away from the pawn. Hard to see a queen traveling all across the board to pick up a pawn. So yeah, this can really turn around, but I'm just so impressed by Inox finding this move because honestly, Steven's idea was brilliant if it wasn't for the fact that Inox is finding brilliant moves for his level. So yeah, I'm really curious to see now what Inox does. He does have a big time deficit, 2 minutes, but he only needs a draw or to win to advance to the next level. So Steven is in a must-win position right now.
It's tough when you're playing well, but your opponent is playing even better. Ooh, he chooses knight, queen, e2, so he decides to go for the queen trade instead. But I actually don't mind him simplifying because, as we keep saying, he only needs a draw. But then again, you know, when you're 1100, just because you trade the queens off and you get into an endgame, that means nothing for your draw chances. Anything can always happen, which is probably why everybody loves PogChamps so much.
Absolutely, anything can happen, and that is the greatest thing about PogChamps. Here, Steven really should not trade queens, because if he does, it's just going to be really tough to win the game. So he does need to move the queen somewhere. I think he's going to see it, because he literally told me in one of the coaching sessions, it was like, Anna, I hate trading queens. I don't want to lose my queen. I want to keep my queen, because he's a tactical player. So I don't think he's going to go for the trade of queens, but he's probably wondering where to go with it right now. And he goes queen e6.
Wow. So he's moving the queen somewhere where it would be attack under the knight if it wasn't pinned. I like that he's keeping on the queens on the board. I think it's better for his practical chances, even if I think that endgames are not drawn for certain ELO ratings. From his point of view, he probably does think that.
Yeah. And I think it's brave of him to put the queen in a square where it can be taken, you know? Like, not really right now because the knight is pinned, but like, it does
I
look
wouldn't
pretty
encourage
fancy.
that, Anna. I've seen enough casualties. Just put your queen on a safe spot and save the tactics for another day, okay? But
Listen,
here,
Alex, if you're good, you're good.
If you're good, you're good. No, that's fair. I'm just traumatized. I've seen too many queens go earlier than they should.
Okay, so we're seeing the rooks come into the board, and I'm wondering, when is he going to take this knight? Because I do... Okay, he does it now. Thanks, Steven. Thank you. The knight needed to be gone, just in case.
He didn't want to keep you wondering, Anna. Okay.
He didn't, but I was kind of excited, you know?
Yeah, and I like that he took with that pawn because he wanted to fix his pawn structure a little bit. And now we're seeing some attacking chances from both sides. Inoxtag can play queen at h5, but that does allow for queen c2 check, and the black queen is also defending on h7. It's both an attacking and a defending piece.
It is, and I will say this, Steven, like I said, he loves tactics, so I think he's feeling pretty good right now anyways. And with the time advantage that he has right now, you know, I think it's definitely could be looking good, but at the same time, of course, Inox is holding on very well. So I think he's trying to double up, maybe double his rooks, rook h2, rook h1, bring the other rook and attack that pawn on h7 a bit.
Yeah, I love that idea. Doubling up, preparing the attack. It's just both sides are still pretty defended somehow. It's going to be hard for either to break through. G5, putting pressure on f4, but also weakening his own pawn structure.
But I love this. He has to go all in. And now, Wow, after rook h1, Steven now has the incredible opportunity of going pawn takes f4 and really opening up for that king because the queen is now undefended. So you can go pawn takes, and then after pawn takes, I believe you can go rook takes f4, but it's difficult that we're already seeing way above their level chess, and that was a very difficult rook sacrifice kind of idea. So it makes sense that he simply wants to keep everything defended. Very solid play by Steven.
Yeah, definitely. No, that tactic would have been so beautiful. I'm sure Dr. Lupo would have seen it. And here he plays rook h5 and he allowed g takes f4 and actually pushed him into it.
Will he see it? Will he see it? Come on. Will you hover over the rook or not? Will he see it?
Yes, take like that. Or not take at all. Those are his only options.
Oh, queen check in between? Now rook g7 was amazing.
Wow.
Alex, I'm calling it. Steven won. I'm calling it.
Okay, commentator's curse though.
I don't have a curse.
You're right, Anna. You're so positive. Like, if you ever had a curse, it would just come as like a beautiful manifestation where like everything works out.
I can't see any way in.
I'm hoping that.
Sack the queen, maybe? Sack, and then kill, and then I sack my queen and get both your rooks, and then I have rook versus none?
There's so many different things that he can do right now. The king is so weak.
But
Which one is better?
He should really keep it complicated as
Which one is
long
better,
as he
guys?
can, because
This way or this
Inoxtag
way?
is under 40 seconds.
Yeah,
Surely
very
this
little
way.
time.
No, this way? Take. It's
Which one will
double
you
check.
pick?
It's check here and check here. My queen isn't really defended.
Yeah, I think you're right, Anna. Steven is taking this.
Here. Here.
Now I'm worried now that you said it, Alex.
Oh no.
Surely this is the better way. If he takes with the king, what do I do? Shoot.
If he takes on e3, he wins a rook, but actually, he's just gonna win either way.
Well, he's gonna go queen takes e3 now. I mean, if king takes, he's gonna take queen takes
I just realized
e3,
that
right?
wasn't the smartest
Surely.
idea.
Mm-hmm.
I hope he just takes his time here now because it's a very critical moment.
Wait,
Oh,
there's
wait.
Isn't hang on. If
Okay.
he plays king to h4 and now rook f4, rook takes g7 check. If he goes king h8, there's actually a mate on g8.
There is. This could really go any way right now, actually. This is not such an easy position. Okay, he goes for the check. That's a good move.
The king is coming into the attack.
I mean, this king is fearless.
He's doing his best.
Oh!
Wait, did he play it?
I think he
I think
did.
that's a great move.
Oh no! Oh! What is
Wait,
happening?
he made
The
a
queen
mistake
could
too.
take-
Queen takes
King
f5. It was
H6,
a
he
free
doesn't
rook.
take it. It was just a rook. Now
It was
it's
just a free
changing.
rook.
It was just
Well,
a free
now
rook,
black
but now
is just
Steven got the
completely
free
winning.
rook. Maybe he thought, yeah, Steven is completely winning now. The king goes up. The king is boxed in. It's just a free rook for Steven.
But he didn't block with the queen, which would have let him simplify a lot faster. Maybe Inoxtag can keep trying to give checks here.
That's what he has to try to do right now.
Yep. He has to try and see if he can get a perpetual. There are no perpetuals, but you always have to try. From +10 to mate in 9, hey, everyone has a tough day in the office, okay?
Well, okay, the king goes back. I just hope that he sees that the queen... Okay, yeah, he's hovering over the queen I'm seeing on the other screen. So I do think that he sees that the queen can come back, and there we go. We have queen f8. Inox doing a great job, though, trying to be as annoying as possible.
But wait,
Because
because if he blocks with rook f7, then maybe the king can take on g5. There's still some tactics left.
there's definitely still some tactics. He has to go queen f8, and now he has to move the king. If he goes queen f7, it's going to be a draw because it's going to be a threefold perpetual. But he finds king h8. Okay.
Okay, that was
Very
really,
important.
really important.
That was a clutch move.
Yeah, no, this is tough. He plays rook e1.
There's a checkmate
And
now. Rook g6.
Yep. Double check plus checkmate.
Checkmate.
What
Yes!
a comeback.
Yes! Yes! Oh,
There we
okay,
have him
chat.
celebrating.
Chat.
That must feel
All
good
right,
after being
guys.
Oh,
losing.
that was so stressful. Oh my god.
That means that we're gonna go into the tiebreak, and how the tiebreak works. The player with the higher accuracy is gonna get the white pieces. Waiting on Chess.com to let us know who that's gonna be. If the game is drawn, the players are gonna swap colors, and we'll keep going until there's a decisive result. The time control pretends to be blitz with 3 minutes, but we're not so fast. They're giving a 5-second bonus. I don't like that. I don't stand for it. I want to see players flagging each other. That's just my opinion. Anna probably likes a 5-second increment because she likes it when players actually play chess.
Alex, you're being brutal. These are, beginners. You just want them to win the games by
I want
flagging.
the blood, Anna. Give the people what they want. We don't have gladiators
fighting
anymore.
the
This is the
gorilla.
closest we're gonna get. No, that's true. Okay, but a quick thank you before we go into the tiebreak to one of our sponsors, NeuroGum, which is actually a product I love. And honestly, if we have another break, I might go grab one of my NeuroGums and chew it because I did not get enough caffeine today. But as seen on Shark Tank, Neuro's Calm and Clarity or Sleep and Recharge mints are the perfect supplement to a long day of grinding chess, especially when you go from up 20 to maiden 9. Keep a cool head and live in the moment with Calm and Clarity mints, a science-backed blend of GABA, L-theanine, and vitamin D3 to help balance your mood and declutter your mind. Or try the Sleep and Recharge melt-away mints developed by sleep experts to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up refreshed. Ready to find your inner peace? Visit go.chess.com/neuro or use command neuro in the chat and save 15% with code CHESS15. With that being said, let's get back to the games. Steven has the white pieces. He had the higher accuracy. Who is going to take it all? Chat, I think we're doing predictions. Let us know what you think. Anna, who do you think is going to take it?
I think this can go either way. I mean, we've seen both players, in certain moments, it's felt like this is a 1500 rated chess match. They've played really well. So I think this can go either way. We're seeing here the French again. And yeah, there's going to be blood now. There's going to be blood now, Alex, because it's going to be, a sudden death match. So the first person to win a game will be the winner of this match. So you're getting that excitement that you want, Alex.
I'm very excited. And here, Steven has improved from the last French game. He's still hanging on to his e5 pawn, which he had given up last game. Plays bishop f4 to defend. And now, what you usually see in this position is knight g6, which is actually kind of annoying to deal with because the pawn is now attacked 3 times as well as the bishop. If he moves back, can black just take on e5?
I mean, that is the question. I think that this pawn is going to give him nightmares, to be honest. I don't think Steven is going to be happy about this, but at least now there is the pin. The bishop is on that same diagonal as the queen, so it's easier to do something about it, but he decides to castle immediately, and I honestly take fault for that. I told him, whenever you see castle, Steven, just castle, because I wanted his king to be safe, but it may not be the best piece of advice in each moment, and here maybe it wasn't.
Can you be my coach also? Because I also don't like castling. I need somebody telling me things like that.
I will scream it in your ears, Alex, or I will not, because that would be bad. But, before the games, I'll scream it in your ears.
Yes. Next tournament I'm at, I need you telling me this before every game. He did castle here, but oh no, did he just play queen f3? Okay, you can't take on b2 because that would be a Bota's gambit. That was actually what I was looking at. Knight c4, I don't think it was necessary. I think he could have just traded bishops and been happy being up a pawn.
Yeah, but the knight was beautiful in the center, you know? And yeah, I fully understand why he wanted to play this move. Now we see that Steven is able to go c3, kick out that knight, but to be honest, it does feel now like Inox is just simply a pawn up. So this was a great opening for Inox, you know, the French not betraying the French. And yeah, he's got the center, but let's see if Steven can do something with his two bishops. His bishop on d3 pointing towards the king. Maybe he can go for some queen h5 at some point. Always needs to be careful with that because actually I'm
I
wondering
don't
if that
like this move. I mean, honestly, the reason I don't like it is I like pushing pawns, obviously, towards the enemy king, but you don't really want to push f5 here. Now he's blocking his own bishop, and he's also weakening his kingside pawns a little bit.
He is, but now that the bishop is leaving that diagonal, there's always going to be these threats of f5. And honestly, at this level, I don't think it has to be that bad. So I don't completely hate it. And I think he needs to go for the attack and just try to put Inox in as much pressure as possible.
I am just excited to see knight queen h4 be played at some point. We know he's going to start going for the attack. And even if Inoxtag sees it with moves like g6, it's going to start poking holes in black's position.
Yeah,
knight
that's
f3
absolutely going to
blocking
happen.
that idea, but still a good move. I like it. The knight can hop to e5 actually and try to fix his pawn structure a little bit. Actually, it would give him an isolated pawn, but I feel like white's best chances here are trying to go for an attack.
Yeah, I think he definitely should go for an attack, not just because that's what he kind of needs to do being a pawn down, but also because it suits his style a lot. So
What
now,
about
I
knight
mean,
g5, h6, and then queen h5? That would be really fun. Honestly, maybe he can almost even sack on h7.
that's what I was going to ask you, Alex. What if we go for bishop takes h7? Very difficult move because it's so decisive in a way. But yeah, and after king takes, bringing in the knight and queen. But he goes for rook a1 instead. Not bad to try to activate all your pieces, but definitely maybe missing this idea of going bishop takes h7, which I think is honestly really difficult at this level to find.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of those ideas you had to have seen before. Otherwise, you're not just going to come up with it on your own. And it
Ooh, I
seems like
love
he's
this
more
move
focused on the
a4.
queen side. Yeah, I like it too. He's trying to attack the queen and take it away from protecting the bishop. Inoxtag is in some trouble here.
But he does stop that idea. He goes a5, which I think is a great move to prevent at least Steven from fulfilling his plan. But now maybe Steven could push that pawn one step b5, attack the knight, and then maybe he can try to jump in with his own knight on e5 like you were saying before. And all of a sudden, all his pieces are going to be in great positions.
Yeah, and queen e2, computer doesn't like, but I think from a human level, it's logical sense because there's nowhere the bishop can go. One of his only options was to push. Oh, queen takes e3, pin the knight.
Yeah, he could have taken the bishop before. He very quickly took that pawn. I think he just really thought he had to do it, but he should have spent some time. But he finds queen takes e3, pinning the knight.
Wow.
What a crazy intermediate move to find here. I feel like it was easier to find before, but yeah, that is a great move. And now the queen is undefended on b6. How does Inox get out of this?
I don't think he can. I think he's going to have to give the knight away as a casualty. Maybe he can at least take on b4 so he gets some kind of compensation here. At this point, he should just be trying to make it tricky to get anything in return. He's also getting under 2 minutes on the clock, but Steven is not far behind.
I think, though, like you're saying, taking that pawn is the best chance because if Steven doesn't really think and just insta takes the pawn back, he's not going to be attacking that knight anymore, and then he's not going to lose that piece. So I think it's a great attempt to take that pawn. But okay, he decides to move his rook instead, and now Steven simply takes the knight, and he is a piece up right now.
But the game is never over. a4 is under attack twice. The pawn on d4 is also going to be a target. And hey, we've seen people come back when they have no queens. What's being down a bishop?
That is very true, Alex. Anything can still happen in this game. They only have around 1:30 left. So the time is going to be crazy very soon. In around 2 minutes, we're all going to be sprinting and jumping and going crazy because it's going to be very, very intense. And honestly, yeah, I mean, that B pawn could also maybe in the future become a scary pass pawn, but he's going for the checkmate threats.
No!
And he
Not a
misses
checkmate,
it.
but still, it's going to make his position extremely hard to defend because his king is going towards the center. Yeah, he did. He played too quickly. I think Inoxtag is a lot stronger at rapid than blitz, which is honestly much better for his chess. But it is harder to play in time pressure when you're not as used to it here.
For sure, for sure. He's playing, he played this very fast, and it's so easy to, make a fast move and then the game can completely change. But yeah, now the king is in the center. It's looking really tough for Inoxtag. Can he try to somehow get his bishop and rook against the white king? I don't know. It's the one thing that I'm seeing, but it's looking really tough for Inoxtag. It looks like Steven's queen is just going to come into the center and destroy that king.
Yeah, it's not looking good, but hey, you always got to keep fighting. In our stream, we call it the monkey school of chess. You keep throwing poop at your opponent, and hey, you might not win, but at least they'll be confused, and sometimes that's all you can ask for. I think the chess purists call that desperados.
I like that you call it, what did you say, monkey chess?
Monkey school of chess.
Okay. We all have different schools. I like that. I want to join that school. Okay, so
we may not be the
Inox is
smartest school, but we're scrappy.
I like it. Please sign me up, okay? I'll be part of it.
Deal. Okay, so F5. Steven knows what he's doing. He's trying to open up Black's king. He is attacking the E6 pawn. It is defended, but if F takes, then his queen can get into G7, and he's so close to delivering the checkmate. But Inoxtag is not giving up.
He's not, and he shouldn't. He should fight all the way till the end. Let Steven do that checkmate. He's got to find it. So I think that's a great spirit. So, yeah, Queen F4. It makes sense to try to bring in the queen onto that diagonal, the black diagonal. But Inox very good. He's trying to promote the B pawn. It's honestly the biggest strength he has right now in his possession. He should absolutely try to maximize that strength as much as possible. So now it's going to be time to Steven to try to find a way of checkmating, but only 1:20 left.
F6 is a brilliant move because now the king either has to go on the 8th rank, which now allows for rook A8.
Isn't there checkmate?
Queen there works as well. Yep, it's checkmate in one move after he blocks with the queen.
It's going to
be
checkmate.
Steven has done it.
Wow.
What a
Congrats,
beautiful game.
Steven.
Guys, we won a game. Okay, how does it work? How does it work now, guys? I turn chat back on? Okay. Did I win, or do I have to play him again when I'm black? Did I win it?
Good games, gentlemen. We would love to have you both on for an interview. Do you have time?
Yes, I have time.
All right,
I have time
cool. Let's take a look at the bracket. Now we see that Steven is going to be moving on to the semifinals. He's going to be playing against Berryeza, who has been performing extremely strong. Honestly, this is a very cracked group of 4 making it into the semifinals. I cannot wait to see these games. Anna, are you excited to look forward to these?
I am so excited, but I'm also really excited to get some interviews in very soon. So yeah, I believe we're going to be going on a break very soon to get both of these players in here. But what a stacked bracket we have. It's honestly I can't wait for tomorrow. I can't believe we're going to have a winner tomorrow.
Yep. Okay, let's take that break and we'll be back soon with the interviews, guys.
We are back here with the champion, Steven Nedoroscik. And I have to say, Steven, you know, I'm a proud coach. I mean, I'm a commentator today, an official commentator, but I am a proud coach. It's really fun to see you in the semifinals. What a match that was. You were playing so brilliantly. I mean, at the end, you said, did I win? Like, how are you feeling right now?
I mean, that game had me so stressed. I have to say, he was a phenomenal chess player. In the first game, I lost a pawn early, and I felt like that momentum shifted the game into his favor, and I could not recover. So I was super intimidated for the next 2 following games. But I mean, honestly, I just tried to take your tips that you gave me, Anna, and just castle early, point stuff at the king, and just wait for the moment to happen. And that's all I did. And, you know, before I knew it, I had 2 rooks, a queen, all pointing at his king. His pawns were messed up. I mean, on top of the world when I finally calculated that I was winning.
Yeah, no, that's what we talked about, right? Like putting all the pieces together. Sorry, Alex, go on.
No, you're good. I mean, I love the enthusiasm, Steven. Like, I'm standing next to the 2 smiliest people ever. So it's a little bit intimidating, honestly. I'm just going to smile like I'm talking, but I feel like when I do it, I come off a little psycho. But Steven, tell me, are you preparing for the game tomorrow?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna. Well, the difference between today and yesterday is the fact that yesterday I played like 5 hours of chess. I could not play chess for the rest of the day. But now I only played 3 games. I'm going to be playing chess for like the next 3 hours here. Just getting into that chess mindset. I'm ready for tomorrow.
And any coaching tips for him?
No, I mean, he's doing it. He's just doing it. Like, I think Steven should keep on playing like he's doing. I will say though, Steven, what is happening against the French? You always lose this pawn in the center.
Yeah, seriously. I clearly need to do some opening research again. Maybe me and my grand master buddies can practice.
And
I'll send you over some tips after those.
From the chat, they want to know what makes you more nervous, playing PogChamps or the Olympics?
Definitely the Olympics was a little bit more nerve-wracking, but I have to admit, guys, before these games, my adrenaline is going crazy. Like, I was actually shaking on my mouse. I'm like, oh my god, this is unreal. But you do get that like dopamine rush when you win. It's so awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I want to see a heart rate monitor on you. That would be so cool. Yeah, I mean, are you excited for tomorrow? Do you feel good? Do you feel like a champion right now?
Right now, I'm feeling like a champion. I'm feeling great. I'm really proud of how I calculated that game, but I know tomorrow's going to be a whole different ballpark. I know that the guys I'm going to be playing tomorrow are going to be better. They're going to be more, in tune with their opening knowledge. So I definitely need to take this time to do a little bit of research for myself. But overall, I'm really proud of myself, and I'm super excited for tomorrow. I'm feeling ready.
Well, Steven, we're excited for you also. Congratulations again, and thanks for coming to chat.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, say bye, chat. So just a reminder for everyone, tune back tomorrow for the semifinals. We're going to have Steven going up against Abere, Sapnap going up against Wolfie, VGC, the most stacked group we have in this PogChamps. Come back tomorrow for commentary from the same usual people who have been doing it so far.
Yeah,
and the consolation bracket as well. And if you want to talk about this a little bit.
The consolation bracket is going to be so exciting. We have in the semifinals Mongrel versus Linzor, and then Lydia Violet versus Filian. And I'm really excited because I'm going to be commentating that in the morning, and I'm excited to see some cow openings. I know Filian plays it, so it's going to be really cool.
Yeah. No, I can't wait. And I'm pretty sure we're also going to have the finals tomorrow. So tomorrow is actually the last day of PogChamps. We're going to see it all the way through.
We are. We're going to see it all the way through, and it's so exciting. I love the fact that we're getting all the days so close to each other because we really get to follow the whole journey, and it's been so exciting. I can't believe that PogChamp 6 is going to end tomorrow with 2 winners, one in the consolation bracket and one in the championship bracket. You don't want to miss it. Doesn't matter what you're doing, you got to be here.
You know, if you're at the doctor, everybody has phones. It's 2025. Tune in, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much.
trade it all for peace. This is not enough. This is not enough. This is not enough to get you out of my head. This is not enough. This is not enough. This is not enough to get you out of my head. This is not enough to get you out of my head. Get you